All right. I think we're on a roll here right now. Looks like the link was picked up by YouTube. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Bourbon Neophyte Lounge. How's everybody doing so far? So let me just finish getting a few things here in order. Had one small glitch as I started up, but it's okay. Not worried about that. Those things happen in live events. But I think it's all worked out and ready to roll. Let me know how you're hearing me. Everybody can see me that's on there. Let me know so I know if I have to adjust anything, but I don't think so. I think we're doing A-OK right now. That's for sure. Looks like the stream's doing fine. I'm not seeing any other issues here. Might have just been with the connection. You know, you have that from time to time. I can't control stuff like that. That's up to our internet provider, but it happens. But that's okay. Oh, thanks, Nick. That's what I was wondering on there. But by the way, I'm a little jealous of you and Adriana snagging those Stag Juniors, the 16, and I do believe it was 17. I watched her review of that thing, and I was like, some people have all the luck that they're able to find those bottles at MSRP. People like me who see them on the shelf down here in Vegas at $200 plus a bottle are like, you have got to be kidding me if you actually think I'm going to spring for that at that price. I mean, you know, I might go $25, $30 over, give or take, you know, because of just what it is. But I'm definitely not going $200 on a bottle. No way, not happening. And yeah, you did get super lucky. You did get super lucky. You know, you got the 16, but then the same day or the day she did the stream, or not the stream, the review, you snagged her that 17 Stag Junior, and I was like, anyway, speaking of snags, maybe you see something I've got here in the background. Yes. Those are the Smoke Wagon Straight Bourbon, the holiday bottles. There's 3 of them there. Oh, well, no, I lied. There's 3 of them there, but there's one right here. This is as you all know, this is just the straight bourbon. Nothing fancy. It's the same exact juice that's in the normal bottle. Nothing's different other than they put a little tree on it. I had to have some peeps help me out because, you know, they stick a limit on it of 1, but I'm going to use some as gifts on there. And hey, JD. Oh, good. I'm glad everything is sounding good over there. Enjoy that piano performance, man. Those are good times to spend, that's for sure. Whiskey Lovers Society, how's everything in Belgium? Glad to see you pop in here. I definitely know that I'm reaching on the other side of the world compared to where I'm at, so that means my signal's doing well. Oh, Whiskey knows. Hey, Marty, looking forward to seeing you here once you get home. Good. But anyway, you all know I've been hunting pretty darn well for these bottles and been knowing that they're coming, been knowing that they're in the distributor. And I know the distributors were getting them out to some of my shops I go to, but, you know, just haven't found them. So Friday, I got wind that they're here. So, of course, I went to my local hunt Friday morning, and but a little after 8, when I say 8, between 8:30 and 9 o'clock in the morning, I went down to there and had my fingers crossed. And I'm in there and, talk to the people. Oh, the distributor didn't get here yet. The distributor didn't get here yet. Any minute, any minute. So I waited and waited a little bit. When I say waited, probably waited no more than about 30 minutes because, we can always spend some time in a bottle shop, aka a liquor store, looking around. That's for sure. Well, they didn't come. So I made a stop at another spot just to look and saw Livewire Whiskey Mike Stahl's 18-year marriage still on the shelf. So I knew he didn't reach down and suck that thing up, and also saw the Warehouse C and the sitting there still. And I figured, my gosh, I cannot believe it. Nick, this is Vegas. This isn't Utah, Pretty much 24 hours you can buy a bottle of bourbon here, or rye, or American whiskey. Come on. You understand that. You've done the pilgrimage to come down here to find different bottles. But Total Wine opens at 8 a.m. for us diehards. You should know that. 8 a.m. So I was out actively hunting, and then when I got there, of course, like I said, Friday they weren't there, so I went to another place. They didn't have them. So anyway, went back yesterday, and ta-da! Let me move my hand over a little bit more. There they were, but of course they have a sign on it that says limit 1. So I sighed. The brain started going, the gears started to mesh, and I said, yeah, I'll fix that later. So later on, my wife and I had to go back to that area because we were going to a holiday party. So we picked up the stuff that we had ordered to take, and so we just stopped there. I picked up a bottle, she picked up a bottle, and ta-da, there they be. So then today I went back and said, ta-da, let me get my other bottle. So I'm going to actually crack this thing here and do a pour, leave it set a little bit, and drink it. Probably 1 or 2 glasses easy, because I do like that straight bourbon. It's a great everyday sipper. Let me see what you got there, JD Bourbon. You popped 10 bottles in 2 days. Well, hey, that's your home. That's what it's for. You're not going anywhere. You got these bottles sitting on the shelf. Why not enjoy it? Let's see. What did Nick say? What's the Taylor marriage? Yeah, like $4,000. Yes. 3,000 is what they were selling it for at the store. I emailed Mike, I sent him a text and said, hey, here it is. He laughed and said, pass. So he wasn't getting it for that. But, you could turn around and sell it for that easy. And like I said, it's still on there. Oh, and Top Shelf Dustin, who just popped in here, I see. Yeah. And he's saying that's actually cheap for a marriage. Well, I got what he's saying. Yeah, that would be cheap for a marriage. That is for sure. However, when we're talking about bourbon for 1 bottle, for that particular one, that's expensive. Well, you know what? Yeah, an E.H. Taylor divorce, but if we get Eric Thompson, he'd probably cut you a break on that, Top Shelf. That's what he does. So, we have low friends in high places around here. That's for sure. But anyway, let's see here. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. What are you showing me? Oh, sorry, talking to my wife here. She's trying to show me something.
Ridiculous prices
in
Arizona.
Oh, yeah. They are ridiculous. We already talked about that. But yeah. Yeah, my wife's showing me a picture she sent to me when we were in Arizona about what they had for prices on Wellers. Like the full proof and special reserve, or anywhere,
single barrels, $1,300.
Prices is $1,300 for the single barrels, what she's saying. And it's like, yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous.
$600 for the 12.
It's the market. It's, you got a place, you want to sell it for that. That's fine. Somebody's willing to lay down, 6 dead presidents for a bottle.
He blamed it on the Arizona tax.
He said the Arizona tax. Yeah, I know that's hogwash. That's for sure. That's just hogwash. But again, that's just what what's happening. That's just what's going on. So I'm going to crack this bottle here in a minute. And while I've got you guys here floating around and on the channel, I have a question for you. Do you have a particular bottle for this coming holiday that you're going to crack either Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, day after Christmas, few days before Christmas? Is there something that you guys are planning on sharing with family and or friends, or you're taking to a particular party? Let me know. Let me know in the comments, and we'll talk about that as we go. So let me just open this thing, and as you know, they are literally hot off the press. Fresh bottle. They had a CYPB in Vegas for $10.99, and that's not $10.99, people. It's $1,099. Yeah, I'm sure they did. I am sure they did. Were you at Lee's, or were you looking just as far as online for something and happened to come across it? Because that's absolutely redonkulous for that bourbon. Absolutely redonkulous. Oh, nice pop right there on that. Synthetic cork. People ask me, hey, what cork's in there? Did they go to real cork? Nope, still synthetic. But for me, I do not care. I do not care. This cork versus another cork makes no difference to me. Top Shelf Dust said it's just stupid. They collect dust. Absolutely. For people like us that know the true value and are willing to pay a little over retail just to have it. Everyone has their price. Everyone has a price. How much over retail would you pay? How bad do you want it? How much are you willing to fork out for a bottle? Well, I'm not going to do that. That's for sure. Especially when it's not stellar juice. You know what I'm saying? It's just not stellar juice. So let's just pour a little bit into the Glen here, and we're going to let it open up a little bit here. Oh yeah. That's wonderful. Let me just set that down. Let's put the top back on this baby here. There we go. Set it right here. Without a doubt. Let's see. Nick, what do we got here? Some small off the wall place, but went to Lee's in both liquor lineups. Oh, okay. Dude, the second liquor lineup that's like on Ann and Decatur is around the corner from my house. When I say around the corner, within 10 blocks. So you passed my house, you could have blew the horn and waved. That's for sure. That is for sure. Oh, JD, that's right. I did see that on your bar when you posted that picture. The Redwood Empire rocket top and the Grizzly. Ooh, yeah. They're not here yet in Vegas. All the other ones are the Lost Monarch, the Pipe Dream, the Emerald Giant. Yeah, they're finally here, believe it or not. I just saw them over the last few weeks. So they finally just made it here to Vegas, but I already have them. They were hand delivered by my wife. So I already got those. See, and I agree with you, Top Shelf, on that. $60 for CYPB. That would be reasonable. But the prices they're asking, absolutely. Now, Nick, that midnight winter, or that midnight dram. Sorry, God, I'm just tongue tied today, and I haven't actually had anything to drink. It's going here for like 100 and I want to say 170 for a bottle. I'm like, put the hand up. Sorry. We're talking 75, 80 maybe is what I would pay, give or take on there. I mean, I don't know exactly what MSRP is on that, but that's just, it's just ridiculous. But now that Angel's Envy Rye, oh my gosh, I was looking at that today. at Angel's Envy Rye here, you can get for about $84 to, let's just say 100. It depends on where you go. But man, that is a good bottle of rye. The caramel and the almond that you get off of that is phenomenal. Me either, Top Shelf. I've never had CYPB at all. Matter of fact, my foolproof I got here, they wanted this, or excuse me, not foolproof, special reserve. I got the foolproof in the other room. They wanted like $700 for this. I picked this up for 40. You know, it's like, really, people? Come on. Come on. It's absolutely redonkulous. Redonkulous on there. And then there's the C921 back there, the Elijah Craig. I picked that up for 64. And then I saw the toasted barrel selling for 150. And I picked up 2 at 64 each, roughly. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So yeah, $99. I could see that, because I think last year they were around 89 for the bottle, give or take, for that one, Nick. But yeah, I'd love one of those just to have. I mean, I'm not chasing it or anything like that. It's one of those that I know it's a good bottle. It's a great one to share, to open up with some other people, so on and so forth. But, you know, I'd do it. It's good. $700 for special. I know it's ridiculous. Now there in Ohio, Top Shelf, you know, I have friends there that go to the stores, and, you know, they've sent me pictures. Hey, I picked up a Blanton's for 55. Well, okay. I could see that. You know, I said, hey, if you can get another one at that, I'll buy one at that, but I'm not chasing it. They come out here regularly so they can deliver me that Blanton's, but I'm not even going to pay $70 for a Blanton's, which I have a thing about $20 over retail, or what I feel is right, is what I pay for something on there. And I still turned it down. That's within my price range of things that I would pay for something like that. But no, I picked this up, and I think I've showed you guys this. I picked this up a couple of weeks ago, which is the Canadians version of Blanton's, this Caribou Crossing right there. Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful box. It's a great bottle. You know, you got the caribou on it, although it doesn't spell anything like Blanton's, but I don't care. I picked this up. It was nice. My wife really liked the bottle because she liked the top on it. And so I happened to walk into a shop last week, and all of a sudden it was there. In other words, I didn't pay attention to the counter where they take your money. When I walked into the area where I know they put the latest and greatest stuff. And so I started looking. So I was talking to the manager that I know, and we're just BSing, hard to believe, but we're just BSing there. And I was talking to him. I just happened to turn around, and all of a sudden, bam, you know, there it was. Hey, Mr. Whiskey Shits, cheers. Check your Gmail, Adam. And it was there. And so, of course, I picked it up, and I picked up that Elijah Craig C921. So I opened that up last week, and it's tasty. Definitely got some proof to it at 120, if I remember correctly. And, you know, I love that higher proof. I mean, it's to me, that brings out some flavor in it. The lower proof stuff has its place for things, particularly maybe in mixers. Sorry. But I don't particularly mix whiskey, like making an old fashioned. Yeah, I know. I don't do that. General. I just, you know, grab my bottle, I pour it into a Glen here, you know, and I have a good old time. Hey, John T. What's up, man? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. Those of you that are here, remember, take the time to hit that like button on there. And I know everyone on here is a subscriber, because if you weren't, you wouldn't known about this. But if you know some people that also might be interested in the channel, hey, forward them the link, tell them about it, tell them to come over to the page, like and subscribe, you know, and let's really get this thing on a roll here. But yeah, so I'm not into mixing, but I know that some of those lower proofs are absolutely great for mixing. Even some of the higher ones, when you get into 90, 95, and 100, make excellent mixers because what you're mixing it with does not drown out the spirit. So, got it. But like I said, that's just not me. However, if somebody wants to mix up an old fashioned and hand it to me and say, Anthony, you have got to try this with this particular rye in it, or this particular bourbon, or this particular whiskey because it is phenomenal. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna turn down some free booze, especially when I know it's the person and it's gonna be decent whiskey. Oh, heck yeah, I'm gonna do it. You're loving that sweet wheat? Yeah, I actually might crack that today. Like I said, I know you're busy. Like I said, I sent you something in your email, but anyway. I looked at that and I thought of you and Mike, and I'm like, maybe I will, or maybe I'll save that for my stream coming up this week, my late night stream or something like that. I don't know, but do something prior to the holidays. Maybe, we'll get together with Livewire and stuff like that and do a holiday thing on a weekend day, or maybe one night the week before Christmas, like maybe Wednesday or Tuesday or something like that, because my schedule's changed, so I can spend a little bit of time there. Might be a thing that we could do. Anyway, but yeah, I'm thinking about that sweet wheat. Oh, it's lottery there. Yeah, that's right, Ohio. Sorry, I know where you are, but yeah, we don't have that here. It's just a lottery. Anybody can sell it as long as you got your license, and they sell it for whatever the hell they want to sell it for, which again, you have the option to buy it or not buy it. So yeah, we're not that lucky, but like in Ohio, Utah, Pennsylvania, states like that, states that I'm familiar with, I grew up in Pennsylvania. So yeah, we have state stores, so it's controlled. So pretty much everything's at MSRP, period. I don't know if they have the lottery system in Pennsylvania. Top Shelf, maybe how they do it. If Sugar Kitty or somebody else like that pops in, I'll have to think about that. Oh, you're looking for that 12-year, Adam, for 1792? Well, I just got a hookup on one of those and picked it up. So I am stoked. I mean, I was really stoked to find it because I've never seen a 1792 12-year on the shelf. Never seen it. Only pictures. And everyone sends me a picture. And I'm excited for them because I know it's hard to find. And if you are in one of those states that have the lottery, it's like, oh man, I got picked. I mean, I'd have to say it's got to be up there with like hitting the lottery. Oh my gosh, I got a sweet wheat, or I got a 12-year, or I got a Stag Junior, and it's all at MSRP. I mean, that's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful on there. Oh, it's dropping tomorrow up there, Nick. Is that what you're talking about? The 12-year 1792? Let me know if that's what you're referring to, because I might have missed something in chat, and so I might be off because I'm multitasking on there. But anyway, let's get a sip of this since I've let it set a few minutes to open up in the glass. And like I said, this stuff is literally just bottled over the last few weeks and shipped. And so the distillery, the H&C distillery, is maybe 10 miles from my house. So, woohoo. Okay, I don't blame you, Adam. If you can pick it up, you're going to be a happy camper. That's for sure. But let me get a little sip out of this. It's very sweet. I mean, I can smell it. I can smell it for sure. Yeah, the 1792. Okay. Oh, the foolproof 2 is dropping. I've got the foolproof, got the bottled and bond, of course, got the small batch, now the 12-year, and the sweet wheat. I had to think, wait a minute, I'm missing one. The sweet wheat. God, how could I forget that? We were just talking about it. But anyway, so I'm going to give this thing a whirl. But yeah, I can definitely smell the spice in it, and the sweetness. And believe it or not, I'm not getting the initial ethanol off of this. Like sometimes you do. Oh yeah. All right, let's get a sip on this thing. Mm. Yeah. You talk about freshness in a glass. Oh yeah. This is really good. I love that spice that comes back on there. And that's one thing, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, that I really like about Smoke Wagon is that mash bill with the higher rye. I think it's 36, but I know it's up there. I think it's 36% rye, and it's pretty much in all of them. Man, is that nice. The viscosity in this is nice. The flavor in it is just good. I mean, it's just a good pour. And the juice that's in the bottle, as you all know, is not anything special. Aaron has said that it's not anything special that's in here. They just put a different bottle out here for the holiday, just to, they're generating some more sales. People want it, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I have plenty of the straight bourbon. I got straight bourbon from the red, white, and blue to the Halloween to this. I've got it. I'm not particularly saving it for anything. I'm going to save one bottle from the red, white, and blue and the Halloween, and of course this, and then of course the rest is going to be consumed. I mean, if I have a bottle of this still left over for next year Christmas, and I haven't, then I'll open that and get the next bottle. It's not going to go bad. If you don't break that seal, it's going to be just fine. Oh, now that's okay. That's interesting, Top Shelf, because I actually have a Thomas and More, and I think it's the port, and I haven't cracked that yet. I picked it up because it's just flying off the shelves, but I did not know about the age on that. Did not know. The Calumet 15, is that what you're talking about, Whiskey Shits? Because I did see that today. Wow. Man, that's good. And just so I could spend some time and chat today, even got my pretzels here because I'll get the link in there and get the pub open and the lounge and just start to chit chat so you guys don't have to continuously listen to me, but neither here nor there. Man, you just can't beat this bottle of Smoke Wagon. I mean, I just love the taste. I love how the finish is, and it's still going on. It's still going on. Okay, it's the 14 and 15. I think it's the 15 I saw today at Total Wine. I think they had it for either 84 or 89, and I could be incorrect on that, but I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was. Now, I did pick up a limited release today. See? So Top Shelf says the 15 is great. The 14 is good. He gives his 1 cent on there, which, hey, like I always say, 84, 89, buy a case. Okay. Buy a case, especially if it's the 15, Dustin. Man, now I got like the third sip down of this. Definitely the cinnamon in there. I almost thought I got a hint of banana, and that's unusual. I almost thought I got a hint of banana on that, but on the beginning. Yeah, that's like, Yeah, That's good. I mean, I like it. My opinion is knock up the proof, but it's 92 proof, so I'm good with that. $110, 120 is normally the going rate on the Calumet. Okay. Is that what you're finding at locally or within your network of places to acquire spirits, Dustin? Mm. Man, that's good. You know, now that you talk about letting a bottle open up, I talked about this on my stream Friday. So I did some reviews of some ryes. It was kind of a haphazard thing because we started talking about everything. You know how it goes sometimes. But it just happens. Well, we got on Wilderness Trail. And I guess some of the channels, you know, they've done some picks on them or with them, Driftless Glen, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, my first actual review was Wilderness Trails straight bourbon. And so I had it off and on, but I don't think I've touched it since maybe June. So I think my review was May, give or take, and I don't think I've touched it since then. So that being said, I went and got it because it came up in conversation. Okay, right here. And it's just a straight bourbon, 100 proof, bottled and bond. So I'm talking, you know, I crack it, get the top off of it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, man, what is that? And holy smokes, I got the biggest whiff of dark cherry, like maraschino cherries that I had ever gotten before. And I had never had that on this. So you can see where it is in the bottle. I mean, it's just under half, but you can see the barrel char like a cloud floating that's all through this bottle. So the second one I bought this summer to back this one up, that's specifically what I was looking for. But like I said, I haven't opened this in months, and holy smokes, this thing has just been great. I may even have a sip or two of this here after I have another glass of this Smoke Wagon. But you made me think about it when you said open up. Wow, did that change? Not expected at all. Not expected at all in that bourbon. Not at all. Let's see. Okay. All right. Okay, the Calumet. All right. Well, yeah, then I guess that is a good price. I may have to go down there and pop in and pick one of those up because I've heard other people talk about it and say, hey, this is a decent pour, And I'm pretty sure that Calumet was a 50, was a 15 down there. I'm pretty darn sure of it. Hey, Mike, how are you, man? Thanks for popping in there. Nice to see you. What's going on in your end of the world? And if you're having something to drink, what are you drinking? And one of the things that I've asked to catch you up is did you purchase or do you already have a particular bottle that you're going to open for the holidays and share with family and friends? Put it in the chat. Let us know what your plans are as far as if you have anything special, because you know, we'd love to know that. Hey, there's Marty. Hey, Marty, check your, if you're home, check your Gmail on there. But yeah, check your Gmail there, Marty. Sorry. The Elijah Craig 18 year and the Magnus cigar blend. Yes. That's a good one. As you all know, the 18-year didn't rate very high in my review when I reviewed that a few months back. But it was a good pour when it was a standalone. But when I rated it with some other Elijah Craig, it took last place. But that's how it goes. So that's why you always pour some in a Glen, get a couple of them going. You don't know what's in what. Take your drinks, and there you go. But anyway, yeah, I thought you were going to do that little book, Marty. And oh, by the way, you think you're the only one, Marty, that can have a hat? Whoops, wrong side. Boom. For the holiday. So when you pop on here, Marty, you better have your hat on, because, you know, I'm calling you out on that, brother. I saw that stream and you had that, and I was like, oh, yeah, no, I gotta find mine. Gotta find mine. Well, yeah, and that's great. You like it. I'm not saying it's horrible, but for me, the 18-year in the blind flat I did, it just didn't. It didn't compare, and I hate to say, the small batch, even in my opinion, beat it. But you know, I got that sample hand delivered, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding. You know, oh, dude, that's ain't no problem. I told you that when I sent you the Gmail. Yeah, that's no big who, no big who. Just sit and float. I understand, man. You've got it going on there. You got it going on, and that's quite all right. Yeah, and that's with almost any single barrel. Almost any single barrel. Raining here. Okay. Do you have the new bottle for the holiday, Mike? There, this one, or is it the small batch or the uncut, unfiltered? What? But that's what I'm looking at. But yeah, this thing right now is just a straight bourbon, and man, it's just really, really good, really good, and it always is. It's always is, especially when you get into the straight bourbon. It's more consistent. The uncut, unfiltered, you get subtle nuances in it just because of the blending and what they do and what the barrels they got. But still, the profile is the profile of it, and it's consistently good. You might get in the uncut, unfiltered, you might get more vanilla or caramel or butterscotch or a heavier cinnamon influence, so it seems spicier, and that's fine. Oh, batch 83. So on that uncut, unfiltered, Mike, I actually just killed a bottle. I think it was on Livewire Whiskey, batch 29 from December 2nd of last year. So, and it was good. It was good. So you got a batch 83. So you've had that a little bit. I just saw batch 120 in the store right now. And I think they're on 124, 126. I think they're on that one somewhere. You know, I don't remember. I mean, every now and then I catch something from the distillery and it's like, oh, okay, now I know what they're on, because Aaron's always doing something on Instagram. So some brands do a better job with consistency on their single barrels. Heaven Hill doesn't care. And you know what? Maybe the person that's doing that blending, and when it comes down to those, when it comes down to that, they're just not as good as keeping that consistency up. You know, I don't know. I don't know, but you know, single barrels can go one way or the other. That's why it's a single barrel. Oh my goodness, the Australians are waking up. There they are. Morning, Chris. Good morning. Oh, here we go. France is here. What's up, Greg? How are you today? Hey, got to do it. Got to do it. I totally understand, man. But how's everything over in your neck of the world there? Hope it's all well with you. Saw that you actually had a review on. I haven't got a chance to watch that yet. I think you actually turned that in today. Yes or no? It came out today. I didn't catch the date, but it popped up in my feed, and I'm like, oh, okay, gotta take a look at that. By the way, I don't know if any of you guys caught Marty's stuff that he's been doing, his reviews over the holidays, the uncut, unfiltered. I think they're perfect. Okay. Oh, good. If everybody here doesn't know Greg's Whiskey Guide, make sure you put him in YouTube there, find it, and go and like and subscribe his page, because if you want to know something about Scotch, you guys thought Ken was good, boom, there he is. Hey, Big Vic, what's going on, man? Cheers. How are you? Man, that's good. Yep. Always consistent on that small batch. Big Vic, I don't know if you heard what we're doing. I'm just, you might see it behind me there. There's a couple of bottles of I call it the holiday batch for Smoke Wagon, although there's nothing special about the juices in there. It's the same as the regular bottle. They just put a Christmas tree on it. So the juice is your basic straight bourbon. So it's wonderful. So, but anyway, I just cracked this today, opened it up, and been taking some sips out of it and just sitting back and enjoy it. And we're just chatting about different whiskeys. I know you find it hard to believe. But what I've asked other people is there a bottle that you're going to crack here for the holidays, or you may have cracked it, or you went out and just got it and you're planning on sharing it with some family and friends at an event? Just let us know. What do you got? What are you thinking about doing? We want to know. I mean, it'd be great. Okay, Greg. Hey, like always, just thanks for popping in. Make sure you all hit that like button on there so it gets reviewed. The stream I did Friday, it's got almost one of my top views so far. Still the number one is the Elijah Craig B521. That's really seems to be sorry, I'm reading ahead in the chat and laughing at something Adam said. I'll highlight it here in just a second. But he says he doesn't have anything to crack. I crack everything right when I get it. Well, hey, what does Popham Don't Watch Them say? You bought them for a reason. Crack them and taste them. Don't just leave them set to look at. But my thing is God, I got so many cracked. It's like, and there's just me sitting here and sampling them all. And I don't usually have any every single night. Oh, Master's Keep. Cornerstone, I'm thinking of popping that for Christmas. On actual Christmas Day, Christmas Eve. I mean, I'm now splitting hairs here, but what particular day? Sorry. Gosh. Don't know why I'm so tongue-tied. It's good. And I'm on the fence about opening, which I know I just said you need to open them, but I have so many other particular ones open. And I think you all know I do fancy ryes. But So I've got this out because I'm probably gonna, give that thing a whirl here coming up. Might be my holiday opener, and everyone's like, "You haven't opened that yet? What the heck is wrong with you?" Well, it's just one of those things. Just one of those things I just haven't got to. Well, yeah, that's good to know there, Dustin. That's probably a question that we can ask and hopefully get an answer, and then it would ease everybody's mind. That's for sure. Well, you know what? It's like this. Just tell them, look, this is what's going on. This is where it's happening. This is where it's at. Be here or you miss out. Right, Vic? Just tell them, be here or you're going to miss out. That's what it comes down to. That is for sure. That is for sure. But just took a little bigger swig of that yeah, this is definitely a one that if you opened it up now, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it. And as I drink this thing down here a little bit more, get it past the shoulder and let it sit for another couple of days, I think it's going to be like terrific when it opens up. And now, like I said, when we were talking earlier, I may even go to that wilderness trail. But yesterday we were at a holiday party, and I took this. I filled my flask up with it and thought, well, I'm gonna work on that, and I did. And that rye is pretty darn good. And now I'm going to kind of leave it sit a little bit longer and really let it open up. And then I got it way down past the shoulder, and definitely it'll be worth it here later on. It's really, really good, that Magnolia. And one that I've got to work on a little more that I've got here that you heard me talk about is the Emerald Giant. And I opened that up, but I gotta get that down a little bit more so it can open up, and I don't want to say get better, but yeah, get better. That's for sure. Oh. Oh yeah, that's definitely worth it. Let me get something here and clear off the palate. Well, you're right. I thought about it, but I don't want to say that was so good, but that cherry that came out into it was so good that I decided to be a little stingy. So I left it, and I said, well, let me take the Magnolia because I've just been in a rye kick, and that one was good. So I shared it there, and the person I shared with, she liked it. So I'm going to give her a little sample. So, because she wants to make an old fashioned out of it. And I'm not going to give her a sample, of the Magnolia. I'm going to give her a sample of something else that has just a little more spice, but the proof is dropped down a little bit because, I'm not saying that she's new to whiskey in general. And I got that Pendleton, and I think that would be great in an old fashioned. That's what I told her. But I'm not a person that mixes drinks. So that being said, I'm going to give her a sample, and then her husband will give it to her, and she's going to put it in an old fashioned and see what she thinks before she goes out and buys a bottle and spends 30, 40, 50 bucks, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. I told her, well, before you go run out here, let me give you this. You try it. Tell me what you think. And then, we'll go from there. And yes, it is rye season. You need to tell Adriana that it is rye season, and she should probably be drinking some Knob Creek rye right now. And although she might have even hear me, but all right, clear that palate off a little bit. Ready to take another little swig. Yeah. Hey, there you go. What we got here? A special occasion bottle, which is true. I still have a couple that I haven't opened, and they're really not special occasion bottles. I just haven't cracked them yet because I've opened so many other things that anyway, yeah, so what the heck. I'll get to them eventually. If it isn't today, tomorrow, whatever, it's no big deal. No big deal. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he told her that. I guarantee it. And she probably opened the door for him and said, don't let it hit you on the way out. Knowing her, yeah. And I have one of those right now, and it happens to be a high rye bourbon. And I just can't find another. Now, if I get out to another Total Wine, I'm told that they have a few there still. So then I'll have a backup for it. And that's funny. You should put that little statement down there, Dustin, because that's now how I'm looking at it. And, watching Pop 'em, Don't Watch 'em, and some other ones, it's like, what are you holding on to them for? What are you holding on to them for? Well, that's true. Go out and pick up the paper in your driveway and, get hit by a falling piece of space debris. I mean, what's the chance? But then you're never going to have had the chance to taste it. So, yeah, makes sense. Believe me. And that's kind of where I'm leaning to now. And I'm cracking this and cracking that and opening this and opening that. Even if I only get 2 pours or 3 pours out of it and they sit for a while, why not? Why not? Oh, that 10-year redemption. All right. I almost picked up a bottle of that. And then I know if I did, I'd have to run up to Utah and hand deliver some to Adam, because if he doesn't have any, I could just see the expression on his face as he stares at me on his channel. And I go, yes, I know. Yes, I know. But it is good. He's the one that sent it to me when he did a hand delivery. And I'm like, holy smokes. And I think redemption is extremely good. Matter of fact, the high rye bourbon I have, of course, is a redemption. And it's 105 proof. And it is just absolutely delicious when it comes to a high rye bourbon. And it's one of the things I'm particularly fond of, and I've already said it, but with the Smoke Wagon is because 36% rye is in the mash bill. So, yeah, I like it. I like it. So, I know we won't see Eric right now because I think it's today that the Raiders are playing the Chiefs. And I'm sure he's in front of the TV, and I'm sure he's done his ritual sacrifices of small animals and, berries and nuts to make sure that the Chiefs win. Because I think they're playing, in Chief Stadium. I'm almost positive. I don't follow the Raiders. Don't care. No, I don't have any love for them. I don't have any hate for them. Don't care. Really? Wow. See? So she is now starting to go to the good side from the dark side. She's starting to develop her palate and get into the rye stuff. And, even though this is a higher rye and with thirst, I don't catch the mint. And with the Pendleton 12-year rye that I tried Friday, I don't get the mint on that at all like I do with the Elijah Craig rye. That is mint. That is mint. I get that right off the bat on that when that finish comes back. So I know that is definitely mint. Wow. Oh, please. That's like punishment. The Jim Beam White and then work their way up. Please. You couldn't impose such torture on somebody, could you? Well, you could. You wouldn't care at that particular point in time, right? Yeah. Exactly. Oh, well, then he's passed out drunk. Yeah. He's passed out drunk. That's for sure. Because he's, excited. That is for sure for something like that. Because I don't know the last time they had a blowout like that. That is for sure. But yeah, I haven't even been following. As you all probably know, the Steelers lost to the Vikings. Well, when I looked, they had a comfortable lead. There was no problem. As I came back, I saw a blurb on my phone that talked about the comeback and the Steelers lost. And I'm like, what? And then I came to my senses and I said, yeah, it's the Steelers. It can happen. And so I was done with it. So anyway, well, I'm definitely going to pour just a tad more of this in my Glen here, and just another little taste. Get that down a little bit more in the bottle and cork that. I don't know what I'll move on to after that. I'm still thinking, but it is definitely good. Yeah. This, Ben, is my holiday cap. I figured if Whiskey Nose can wear one when he does his stuff, look, I can take a twig. Whoops. Sorry. I can take a twig, stick it in my hat, and call it a holiday hat, just like he did. Boom. So that's what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. I figured if he can wear a top hat, I can wear this one. Hey, you can wear your nightcap. That could be your holiday cap. You can wear one of those hard hats that hold 2 beer cans, or in your case, 2 bottles of bourbon. It's whatever you want to call it. We don't care. See there? Distinguished gentleman's hat. I don't know if Marty's distinguished. I don't even know if you want to call him a gentleman, but he does wear a top hat. Hey, look, I just want to show him he's not the only one that has a hat. That's for sure. on your fourth 13-hour day in a row. Yeah, I totally get that. I finished a little over 2 weeks of 14 to 16 hours a day. So I'm getting to work at 6:30 in the morning, let's say, and leaving between 8:30 and 10 p.m. at night. Yeah, I was so glad to be done with it this week. So my wife gives me my other holiday hat that she's bringing out, which I knew it was. So hold on, I have to change a hat here. Hold on. Ta-da! My other holiday hat. So that's right, my Pimp Santa hat, right here. I just don't have a big ostrich plume coming out of it. But last year, this was one of the gifts that my dad thought that he would put under the tree for me. You know. So don't be jealous, all. Don't be jealous. All right, Big Vic, we will catch you later. Ta-da! Don't hate. I keep telling you guys, do not hate. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He likes flat caps. I don't own a flat cap, but they're nice. There's nothing wrong with it. As a matter of fact, I was on a stream with Ken. We all had different hats on. We were all had different hats. He had a couple. I had a couple. I don't know if Ed was on there. I've slept since then, but you know, the heck. That's something. I got to find a plume to put in it. That's what I got to find, or some other type of holiday regalia. There you go. I might have to wear this on Livewire, Adam. Matter of fact, that's tonight. I forgot. It's Sunday. So there you go. Oh, that's what you're referring to. Well, you know, they still sell them. They still sell them. But, you know, I've got to do it. And what you didn't see is I pulled this one up too. Oops, sorry. Can you all read that? There you go. There you go. That's how you can tell if you've been real bad. Santa sits on your chimney and takes a crap. They don't sell Stetsons in New York? You have got to be kidding me. There's a couple of great hat shops in New York, particularly in Manhattan. Or you're referring to this one-of-a-kind beauty, because I know where there's some more, and you too could have one. Yes, Chris, it is. I've had this for a long time, this sweatshirt. And my wife pulled it out today, and she's talked about it, and I said, no. I go, I don't know where it's at, blah, 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 blah. But then when she pulled this one out, I was like, oh, that wasn't the one I was thinking of. So, ta-da. But yeah. So I wore it. I had my Grinch one on Friday. I have a Grinch t-shirt. I wore that on Friday. Then I have another one I may wear for my stream Friday or Sunday, the Christmas story. So I have another one of those. I have a couple of them. So I don't know. I don't know which one I wear. I'll surprise them. Maybe I'll change it up for live wire stream tonight. I don't know. But
Shoot your eye out.
yeah, my wife said it'll shoot my eye out. Mm-mm-mm. So, Bourbon, if you check your Gmail and you're sitting around not doing much, I sent you an email. Let me get over here. So, out of the ones I mentioned, what do I... Oh, I forgot about this. I picked up this today. That, let me help you all out here. Yes, this little gem today. So I thought, what the heck? But these have consistently been pretty good for me. And then I have this one that I bought a while ago. And I don't know. I may have to do a comparison later. I just don't know what I'm going to do. But anyway. You got to take advantage of some things when you get it. And then yeah, that's why I was kind of interested. Like, I bet you it's got a nice little smoky flavor to it. If you've had it, let me know, Nick. Does it have that to it? Can you get just a taste of the peat? You know what I mean? Like parts per million scale, it's probably a 10 versus like an Arbeg that's probably a 50, 60 parts per million as far as weight of it. That's what I'm interested in. But anyway, so it's just like, ooh, this could be interesting because I do like the Arbeg Wee Beastie. It's pretty good as far as a Scotch goes, particularly entry level on peat. And I was surprised that I liked it because after doing the Arbeg, the Pirate, whew, that just, I mean, that was horrid to me. But the Wee Beastie, was wonderful. So if it's along the lines of the Wee Beastie, but probably scaled back a bit, in my mind, because I like rye, I know the High West, I know this has got to be good. So, what the heck? Yeah, that's... And you know what's funny? The sweetness in the straight bourbon smoke match, the more sips I have, the more the sweetness is coming out as I'm getting even more acclimated to the spirit and the way it lingers on palate, the viscosity. Really good. Really, really good. So we're going to finish this up and move on to another little drop here. I don't know who else is... I know Livewire's on Sunday. I don't know if anyone's going on before him. I don't know if pinch hitters going on before him or what. It sounds like the Kings County peat bourbon. It's about 10 parts per million compared to 4 million parts per million. Okay, good. Then I'm going to be fine with that, because if it was along the 4 million parts per million, no, that's along yours and Ken's line there for peated scotches. Not mine, and maybe even Top Shelf Dustin could stand a smoke fest, but yeah, no, not me. And you know what, Chris? I just was thinking, I know it's dangerous. My wife would tell you that, but I had another bourbon that had a light. I had a light peated bourbon, and I'm trying to think. I'm gonna have to think a little more. What was that? Oh no! I mean, yes, it was a Japanese whiskey that was finished in ex Scotch barrels that were peated, and it was actually very good. It was you knew there was smoke in it, but it was nowhere near overpowering or overwhelming or anything like that, and had a good smokiness to it. But it wasn't deep and dark. Oh, okay, yeah, you're like me. I can handle a bit of smoke in there, or very very lightly peated, like you said in the beginning. But if it's that just you know holy smokes, smoke. Yeah, no. Yeah. So, yeah, that one Ardbeg, you'd be like me. Iodine and Band-Aids. That's what I got. That's how strong the peat was. Okay. Bourbon night should be going on. All right. Yeah. I used to be pretty good at rattling off who was what and when and where. But, when I started back to this work schedule, my schedule's off, as in who's on what days. I mean, I still know that uh, Mash and Drums on Wednesdays, and Scotch Down Under is Whiskey Wednesdays, and then sometimes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's whenever he's got time, and Live Wires on Sunday. So, and other channels like Whiskey Knows, and when they do their reviews, they pop up. So anyway, that's why I asked. I don't want to make sure I don't want to really step on anybody's toes, but when it comes down to it, if they want to sit here and listen to me stammer, they will. If not, they'll move on, right? Right. Okay, I'm going to have to specifically pay attention to that. I have seen those bottles. I just haven't paid attention to if it is peated or not. So I think that would help me ease into some lightly peated scotches to moderate, and then, going up from there. Hey, Cheech, what is up, my friend? You know what I noticed, Cheech? I really don't have your email. I tried to send you something, and I mean, it's not a barn burner, or wasn't important or anything like that, but I don't actually have your email at all. So I was like, huh. So anyway, Cheech, if you can see this, that's my email. Go ahead and email me so I have your email or contact information, because I was just out and about and stuff today, and I was going to ask you particularly a question, because for me, you're in the other corner of the States. So say, hey, what about this or what about that? And then I realized when I was going through my stuff, I go, I don't have any information for you. I was like, I don't understand that, because I could have swore we have communicated via at least email before. So anyway, if you want, send me your information. I'll forward you mine. I swear I won't blow up your phone, but I know I can't FaceTime you because you'll never answer it. So anyway, if you see that, go ahead and put that up. Oh, but like I said, I see your email there, and I'm like, I thought, and that's what, again, I got to stop. I thought that I had your information. Okay, Whiskey Encore Gmail. All right. Anyhow, let me just see some here while you're there. Whiskey Encore at Gmail. I'm just sending you something here, Cheech. Oh, helps if I hit that. I hit the wrong button. Happens. Here we go. All right, if you're still listening, in a minute or so, check your Gmail. Let me know if you got that reply back, or just say, "Yep, got it," and then we should be all good. Anyway. All right. Get the palate cleansed off a little bit here and think about what the next little drop will be in my glass. I don't know. I mean, once you start out at 90 proof, you hate to drop back down the ladder because nothing. Okay, perfect, Cheech. Perfect. Okay, wonderful. Like I said, I thought of you and I was like, oh, Cheech would know, but nothing big. It was just I was out and about on a hunt, and I was actually texting Bourbon, and so we were going back and forth. And so I said I was going to send you something, but he pretty much answered it, and I was like, yeah, well, that makes sense. Got it, Cheech. Perfecto. Gracias, senor. So we're all good now. We're all good now. I still won't FaceTime you. Even though you'll see my name come there. Yeah, I won't FaceTime you. Do not worry. Anyway, what shall I put in a glass next? What? I don't know. Let me go back here. Let me do, since I was already on a little high rye kick, let's put a little of this in a glass and see where we are now that's had a chance to sit for a little bit and open up. And I honestly do not remember the last time I poured some of this in a glass. So I'm going to say it's been a couple of weeks. Ooh, nice little pop there. Let's get a Glen and do a little taste here. See how that is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Smells wonderful. Smells wonderful. I haven't had that in a little bit. The High West Rendezvous Rye, limited, they say limited supply. Well, if you all know, rye, bourbon, whiskey, whatever, it's all limited supply, especially if you're a small batch. It's not like Jack Daniels or Jim Beam in their base expression. It's like potholes back east. They're everywhere. Anyway, set that up there. Let's see what we got going on here. Cole, what's up, man? How are you? Glad that you joined us on a Sunday afternoon. We're just sitting back, talking whiskey, different pours. If you didn't see, I had picked up, as you can see in the background, a couple of the holiday bottles of the Smoke Wagon. So I decided to crack one on stream here. It's the straight bourbon. It's delicious. I had like 2.5 pours. Well worth buying, and not because of the holiday bottle, but just buying the straight bourbon for your everyday drinker, sipper, whatever. At 92 proof, you can't go wrong. So you may have just saw I just poured some of the Rendezvous Rye by High West. So I'm going to drink a little of that. Nice color to it. It is a fresh cleanse, not the same one that I was using, but it's good. So one of the things I've been asking people as they pop on Cole is, hey, do you have a special bottle that you're going to be sharing for the holidays? Anything in particular? Do you have something that you've been waiting to open, or something you've opened that you're going to share for the holiday? Let us know here in chat. Always looking to hear what people are doing or not doing for the holidays. That's right. You have no choice. You have no choice, Chris. Well, if Whiskey Mountains has anything to tell you, she'd say you just keep drinking, because she does not have an issue with someone drinking some Knob Creek. That is for sure. That is for sure. Sorry, I'm just going to reply back. Whoops. And as I throw my phone across the floor. There we go. There we go. But yeah, I mean, that's a solid one. I have a couple of store picks called the Stolen Barrels that my wife and I found this summer at a store, and I tasted them and was just amazed that they were distilled, barreled, bottled, all within literally days of each other. But when you taste those Knob Creeks, you know that each one's different. It does have the normal Knob Creek profile. However, each one is unique. Each one is unique. I couldn't believe that. Smoke Wagon Straight is a solid pour every time. Absolutely it is. And this particular bottle, just because it's for the holiday and I call it fresh, it's just not disappointing. Absolutely not disappointing, Cheech. It is well worth it. And then this Rendezvous, like I said, I just given it a minute or two to open up a little bit here in the glass. Make it dizzy, as ADHD whiskey would say. Make it dizzy, make it dizzy. This, I know, is good, but I haven't touched it in a few weeks, so it'd be interesting to see, what is it tasting like? Wow. Yeah, that's good. I mean, to me, it has, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but it has that high West kind of funk to it that some whiskeys have to me, and particularly on the high West side. But that spice is like bam. So that's what I like about the Smoke Wagon. That spice is right there. It's good. I'm serious. It's just good. And this definitely has that in the high West. See, Chris, that's what I got to find. The Starwood and stuff I know is here. I don't know if that is, but I'm going to start looking at and getting into some of those, and just to give it a few samples to see how they are, so I can appreciate that spirit for how it is finished. So, well, I'll just have to see. It makes no difference if it is. I hand deliver, Nick. So I have no problem in traveling up north to drop it off on your doorstep. So don't even think that you can't enjoy that spirit. Period. End of statement. And of course, I know you've been down here, so it's not like you couldn't pick it up. But there's no reason why. I have no problem in running up there. None whatsoever. So now that you know that that obstacle's out of the way, next time I'm up there, I'll let you know and just say, hey, and you don't have to be home. I'll just drop it off. You live in a good neighborhood. What the heck? I mean, come on. To say you can't get something, really? And when I'm just basically around the corner, I can hand deliver it. Not a problem. Well, if you ask his better half, she's going to tell you there shouldn't be, right? If you saw her last little short, I think it was on Instagram, I would say she is a connoisseur when it comes to Knob Creek. Me, I'd be a connoisseur when it comes to Knob Creek. So there is the difference. Man, that sweetness on that Rendezvous rye from High West. Wow. Wow. That is really, really good. I don't know if anybody has that right now, but you ought to pop the top on that and pour some in a Glen, because that is really good tonight. Really good. It's hard to see, but you know, the legs on it are forming, but they're slow. So it's good viscosity. And man, and this is how I describe it. I'm not saying that that's what it tastes like, but the white pepper, the spice, and some people go, oh, I don't like pepper. It's not like that, but I'm just describing to you the spice, the spiciness of this and the feeling I get from it that is really good. The viscosity or the oil that's in there is just wonderful. Oh, I can probably assure you that they may not all be those. However, I would say that they're definitely 2 out of 5, maybe, and I'll give you a maybe 3, because I think she has expanded her palate a little bit beyond Knob Creek now. So I would have to, say that, yeah, she might have a couple that are Knob Creek that she would consider her top 5. However, let's digress. I know that Whiskey Mountains would beg to differ with you when it comes to that particular end of it. But as I've said before, she is leaving the dark side and slowly coming to the light. Slowly coming to the light, particularly if she likes the 10-year redemption high rye bourbon. She is starting to break the plane. Yeah, I understand you guys might get a bottle or two up there of High West in Utah. You're right. It's like hen's teeth, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people just have, a really good sense of humor. I have a Weller Foolproof. I have not touched. And the story on that is we don't see it often here in Nevada. And when you do, you got to be lucky enough to be there when it hits the shelf. So long and short of it is a place I frequent got 2 bottles, just 2 bottles. I was the second call. So they called one person, they picked it up. They called me, was the second call. And as I was talking to him, I was already in my vehicle heading there. As I was talking to him, saying, I'm on my way. Rob, did you check your Gmail? If you got time. No rush. But I do believe I sent you something. Yeah, that's good. That Rendezvous Rye by High West. Man, that's a good one to go into after the Smoke Wagon straight bourbon. Really, that's one to go into. So anyway, oh my goodness, this is good. It's just nice to sit here and just chill out, have a pretzel, and chat with you guys. Understood. Believe me. Absolutely understand that. But you got to do what you got to do from time to time. Wow. Yeah. Well, not to go off on the politics thing, but it is politics. France gets mad at the US, blah, 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 blah. Well, we're going to hike up taxes, so on and so forth. So that's how that goes. We're the ones that suffer just because certain people we elect and put in office can't get along. Redonkulous. But that's the way it goes. And I had to change it. I'm waiting for Marty to come on, but he's a busy man. I've been thinking about it. It could be dinner time where he's at, and it is. He's a little about 2 hours ahead of me, so he's eating. But I know he's lurking. That's for sure. Well, I always worry. I want to make sure you have what you need. It's important. We value your reviews and opinions, Greg, especially on the scotches. Those of us who are neophytes to scotch, we need reviews like you and Ken produce and Scotch Test Dummies. So, Top Shelf Dustin, these people produce content that help people like me understand, hey, this is good. This is this is run from. So there you go. You have an antique? Wow. Raul Remus. I turned one down because I thought it was just too expensive when I was down in Arizona. So I don't know. I may pick that Remus 5 back up because I did some checking. It's about $30 over retail. My price is about 20 is what I put on it. And so I'm like, So I don't know. If I can't find it here at MSRP, I'll be back in Arizona in a little while. Next time I'm down visiting my dad, I may just pick that up. I don't know. Well, hey, You always have room for 36, right? You always have room for at least 2 more. Always. That's what you keep telling yourself. Whiskey Cast. Is that a YouTube channel or is that an online store? I think you're referring to a YouTube channel, Chris. But hold on. Going to do the quick change here real quick. Hold on. Bam. There we go. Ta-da. Now we're back. So, okay. So there you go, people. Anybody in here that wants to learn a little more about Scotch, there you go. Find that person out right there. Go and subscribe to his channel. It's a recommendation by Chris. So, and that's a lot of us want to know. We want to know, hey, what's good, what's bad, what's indifferent, what should we buy, what shouldn't we buy, what should we just plain run from? You know, hear the tasting notes, what they're getting off of it. And again, taste is very subjective. So what you like and what I like are two different things. But sometimes you may have some aligning palates and you like it. So what the heck? Why not just like and subscribe to that channel and, you know, see what he's got to offer? See, there you go. There you go. It's perfect. So, on a side note, has anybody heard from Whiskey Eyes Tricia lately? I know I talked to her on Friday, just haven't talked to her over the last 48 hours, let's say, because she popped into my stream on Friday. And she lives in Tennessee, and she was concerned with the storms that were coming in, and everybody has seen everything on television. So anyway, was kind of just wondering. Okay. All right. So Greg, that one there from Belgium, similar reviews to you with whiskey as in Scotch? Yeah, it's a little different on an iPad, Chris. Totally get it. That's why I switched to this Windows platform, but to make certain things easier because it's a Windows world when it comes to YouTube. Wow. Well, that's a milestone. That's for sure. Ah, got it. Sorry about the dog. But who knows what she's doing?
Stop.
She was in a sound sleep, and so I don't know if a bird flew by and upset her, but it happens. Yeah. You know what? I find me either. The content I have done to Greg, I do not particularly edit. And I could tell you, I've not sat there and edited anyone. I may have rearranged the beginning as far as the opening stuff and then the ending stuff, but the material in the middle, absolutely not. You get what you get. It's an honest review, period. Okay. Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to know. I spaced it last night on for Whiskey Encore. I said to myself, "Yep, I'm gonna watch some. I'm gonna watch some." Then we got home after the holiday party, and I never give it another thought. But that's just how that goes. Well, I think there's more than you know a dozen marks in this world. So yeah, very well could be, Greg. I don't know, but I always want to support channels that have good content that others will appreciate. So anyway, oh yeah, yep. So sometimes for me, I do the research beforehand, Greg, and make little notes off to my right. So as I'm doing the review, I have things in chronological order. So when I'm talking, I just kind of boom, 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 boom. But yeah, everyone has their own process and how they do things. So, it's just better that way. That for me, when I do my content reviews. Oh yeah, I have no problem with doing it solo. I open it up to certain people. Some people I'll tell you when you heard me talking about Gmail. Hey, I sent you something Gmail. They got the link. If they got time, pop on. If not, boom, whatever. Friday night, I had a lot of trolls, so I'm controlling certain things. But uh, the some of the emails of people I have, if I have them, I shoot it out there. If they've got time, they pop on. If not, it's okay. Who cares? You want to join? You don't want to join? That's fine. I just want to sit here and review that smoke wagon. Now I'm having the High West, and I'm sitting here talking to you all from Australia to France to the US and so on and so forth. So I'm good. Yeah, the podcast. Okay, so no, those three I did on Friday, if that's what you're referring to, Greg. Um, I had purchased the Templeton, excuse me, I always say Templeton, Pendleton, because I've been looking at Templeton to add that. And I talked to Simon, um, and he liked it. So anyway, the Pendleton 12-year rye, the Redwood Empire Emerald Giant, and then one that I've had open and always gone to was the Elijah Craig. None of them were on special or anything like that. I just happened to have them and thought, winter's a good time for rye. Me, I drink rye, whether it's winter, whether it's fall, whether it's spring, whether it's summer. I just like it. But a lot of people will only drink rye in the colder months because they just prefer it that way. Fine. I don't have that particular preference. So That being said, it was one of those things where, you know what, I haven't went live in a while. I've got time. I'm not working that awful schedule of, before sun up to long after sundown. So I just decided I'm going to do one, and that was that. And so I give it about 48 hours to stew on YouTube so people knew about it, and away I went. But they were good. They were good, and all three were distinctly different. And then when I got to one of my favorites, the Elijah Craig, it was like, and there was the highest proof, if I remember correctly. I kind of like the Redwood Empire Emerald Giant a little more than that. You know? Oh. So that's one of my favorite distilleries. So with that particular one, Greg, the Smoke Wagon straight bourbon is their base expression. The only thing that changed about it is they put a tree for the holidays. Here, let me just get it up here. They put a tree on it for the holidays. The juice inside is no different than the expression you buy every day in a bottle that doesn't have this tree on it. But, they only make so many, and once they're gone, they're gone. Great marketing ploy to get you to go and buy it, but it's at a good price, and it is a good everyday drinker. In particular, if you had people come over and you want to offer them a good whiskey, that's a good whiskey. It just plain is a good whiskey. So anyway, I picked up these bottles, and I may use some as gifts. I may do a giveaway online, something like that coming up here for the holiday, because I know there's some people that just aren't going to see them or can't get them, but like to have the bottle, anyway. So that's why I picked up a couple, just because. It's not sold here. I don't know where you find the Elijah Craig rye. I had to get it hand delivered. So when Marty showed up, he dropped it off at my door. So that's how I got my Elijah Craig. I've never seen it here in Vegas. So if you did, you saw a unicorn. Now that rare breed rye is absolutely amazing, Cole. It's just rich. It has great spice. It has a great sweetness to it. And it is just a great rye by Wild Turkey. I have that. I have the rare breed in the bourbon, and I have the Kentucky Spirit. It's just terrific. So you will enjoy it. I can tell you that you will enjoy that particular rye. It is fabulous. It is fabulous. Yes, it is. On that Smoke Wagon, Greg, it is. Like I said, it's a marketing thing. They're selling a few more bottles, but literally, I can tell you that was bottled within weeks of hitting the shelf. So it was moving. They even talked about it on the news a little over a week ago. They interviewed people from the distillery, particularly Aaron, and they talked about it. So once it hit the news, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be something to find. So when I had my inside scoop on where it was going to be, I'm like, yeah, I got to go and get a couple of bottles. So. You know what? I think it's a fine expression. I think it's a good rye. I think it's worth the money. Some people might not want to spend, let's just say, $60, $65 on a bottle. But I think it is a good sipper. It's 94 proof. It's just a good sipper. That's the bottom line. It is a good rye whiskey. And when it's good, I'm going to tell you. If it's bad, I'm going to tell you. And the only one that I can honestly say was terrible was the review I did of Bardstown Discovery 5. I'd rather run my tongue across a frickin' gravel road than have to taste that again. However, now that it's been sitting a couple months and I painstakingly drank it down to the shoulder, and it was painstaking to drink that crap, I am going to revisit it and do a follow-up review on it. And I've decided I am going to hold off. Sorry, let me get rid of that crap that's on there. I'm going to hold off on getting Discovery 6 because they used some of the same Dickel juice in it. And now I'm hearing that it's not as, that minerality is not as strong in 6 as it is in 5. However, they should just flush it down the toilet, all that Dickel juice, and go back to making good bourbon. And yes, I said that. Flush that shit down the damn drain. Go back to making good bourbon. You'll sell just as many bottles. Take the loss. Get rid of that crap. So, sorry. It's on my soapbox. And I hope it wasn't too bad. Oh, yeah, when you guys had you went for the wedding or whatever, I think it was in Charlotte, Nick. And that may be. I have not personally seen Elijah Craig rye on the shelf. And I'm not saying that you didn't find it or that you didn't catch it here. It could be because they saw Elijah Craig here. I just had never walked upon it, where I saw it somewhere. See, I don't have any Mictors yet, and I'm not that I'm on the fence. I'm just deciding which ones do I start because they basically just have their base expressions. So basically the bourbon and the rye. So you got to start somewhere. It's not like I'm going to find a nice toasted barrel like Cheech Lux out and gets. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just start to add that to my collection here in a little bit. Well, I'm sure they're going to come out to visit you. They could always bring it to you, Nick. And tell them to bring you 2 because I know Adriana is going to love that. And she's going to want to put a straw in the bottle and just sit there and sip it all day long. I'm sure of it. Hey, Josh, what is up, man? Nice to see you here. What? That's sacrilege. What do you mean I don't have anything to drink? Oh, my God. That's horrible. However, let me tell you, when you get there, go to the Redemption for Redemption Bourbon, Redemption Rye. If they have their store pick of the Redemption High Rye Bourbon, buy it. You will not be disappointed. My opinion. You may not like high rye bourbons. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you right now, if they have that for the money, it's 105 proof, and it is delicious. Buy it. All right. Texas whiskey. 1. How do I want to say this? I don't really know, so I don't want to give an opinion. Most of the reviews I've heard are not good. However, listening to Chris from Hot Buttery Rolls, there are some good distillers down there in Texas making a decent product. So that being said, I cannot give you a true, honest opinion. However, the Balcones, on a few of them, I'm not going to mention it. Well, I mentioned the distillery, but I'm not going to touch them with a 10-foot pole unless I can sit with somebody and drink a drop or two from their bottle to go, oh, yeah, this is worth spending my $50 on, or whatever the case may be. But just to go and grab one, no. Oh, Doug, you know it is. Doug, did you find the holiday bottle yet? I don't know if it's on your side of the world, but it took me a little bit to get this. But I got it, and of course I've got a couple sitting in the back there. But anyway, yeah. Nick, when you say buy two, are you referring to the bourbon that Greg's Whiskey Guide is talking about? Yeah, Josh. If they have that, get it. And I'll tell you another one. It's made by Redwood Empire for them. Okay. And it is called Triple R Rye Russian River. It's 90 proof. It's about between 32 and 39. You can catch it on special. I got a batch one and finished it. Had to go out and find another, but I specifically looked for the batch one. And I think that's on special right now there at Total Wine when I saw it. So if that's there and it's on special and you don't mind it, it's made by Redwood Empire. So it is a solid rye. Yes, spend your money on that too. I don't know what your budget is, but I'm just telling you, it's one of those ones that you look at and go, I've never heard of it. Yeah, it's a good one. What? You don't see that? No, I've been running solo, bud. I put the link in the chat. I didn't pin it. Top shelf right. Hold on. Sorry, I picked the wrong one. See that? Email me. I'll see it pop up. I'll shoot it. But I did have it in chat, but I just didn't pin it. So if you really want to look, just scroll up. But like I said, I had one troll pop in and I just blocked their ass. But they're them robots. You know, they just. So anyway, yeah, I'm just like, I'm not playing with that crap. Sorry, let me see where the heck I was. Yeah. Redemption High Rye. I haven't had the standard expression, but they're store picked from Total Wine High Rye if they have it. Magnifique. Really. Now, Iron Root, oh my God, I can't. Harbinger, something like that. Yes. You just jogged my memory. Yes. Balcones, that's the one I'm on the fence on. Okay, Mash and Drum, Jason. Jason gives excellent reviews. Absolutely. He is a trustworthy source for you to make an informed decision on whether you buy it or not. Trusted reviews, guaranteed. Oh, Russian River Triple R Rye. Is that what you were talking about? Their store brand, and it's made by Redwood Empire. Like I said, it's about $32. And I really hate to give that secret out, but I know you're a connoisseur like me and like a good bargain. So Josh, yeah, when you get there, look for that. If you are one of their rewards members, if it is a Spirits Direct, and which I think it is, I do believe they're offering another 10% off. And I do think I saw it today on sale, but I looked at so much crap I can't remember. So anyway, yeah, let me know. When you get there, shoot me a thing, because I'm sure I'll still be streaming. Let me know what you picked up. Okay. Well, I will tell you the Iron Root Harbinger Hairbanger. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Yes, get that. That would be okay. I think it's 110 proof. So it has a good proof to it. So yeah. Hold on. There you go, Justin. Yeah. The regular high rye from Redemption Total Line. Okay, great. I mean, that's what I wanted to know, Doug, because I'm on the fence. I think what is that, 92 or 95 proof? Do you remember offhand? If not, that's fine. But I know it's not as high as their store pick from Total Line. So yeah, go ahead and definitely go ahead and get that. Okay, well that's good to know because that's pretty much what I'm seeing is their standard expressions, Greg, over here on the shelf. Now, like I said, I don't know what you're getting in France, but that's what I'm seeing here. So that should be decent, without a doubt. So now I know that you're happy with it. I value your opinion and I know your palate. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and pull that trigger. Okay, yeah. Let me know, Josh, what you find when you get there. That'd be awesome. Awesome. Sorry about that. I'm going to turn a light on here in a second. It's just that sun was coming in because I have a western exposure at the house. And oh my gosh. Well, you know what, Nick? It's good to have friends all over the world, particularly here in the US, Canada, France, the UK, Australia, Belgium. I mean, we're getting we're getting everything that we need. We're hearing good, we're hearing bad, we're hearing indifferent. You know, it's the way to go. Oh, wait a minute. What's up, Dustin?
Hey there, buddy.
How you be, brother?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. I thought I'd have 7 bourbons with you.
Okay, I have no problem with it. No problem with it. Let's see who's here. Oh, what's up, Mike? Oh, by the way, Mike, thank you very much for that delivery. I mean, you didn't have to do that, but that made my day because I have not seen that 12-year period other than pictures that people send me. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh boy, I just made a very bad financial decision here about 2 seconds ago.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. You know,
I just set a new record for most money spent on a whiskey.
Okay.
There we go. That's better.
All right.
That is better.
Well, so Greg, you're asking what's in the glass. So I'm kind of trying to get my head around what I want to pick for my bourbon of the year kind of list for this year. So I've poured 7 bourbons. That 6 came out this year, and one's kind of a level setter. And I'm gonna just kind of slowly go through these and see where they sit for me. I didn't get any of the crazy good stuff this year, but I got a few decent bottles.
Yeah.
Oh, Stall bought a Springbank 25.
You did?
Yeah, I just bought one, $900.
Oh well. Hey.
Yeah.
Didn't well, let's put it this way. You'll know it was a bad decision if you get it and you go, is this piss?
I won't be pissed, but
yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. No, we would hope it's not, but
it may not be great.
I bought those bottles with high expectations to go, ugh.
I wish it was a brewer for $900, Greg. Oh, that's a good bourbon. Oh, it's a good
Which
bourbon.
one were you drinking? I'm sorry, I was.
Yeah, so like I said, I've got 7 bourbons poured here, and I know what they
7.
are, so I can kind of run through them. But I'm trying to forget what the order is here, so I'm semi-blind here. So I'm trying to be blind, but I'm not really blind because I kind of know what's going on.
Yep.
But I'm kind of just trying to figure out what the my bourbons of the year right now are going to be. I think I've already got number 1 picked, and then I'm probably going to pick something from those 15-year those 15-year-old Jim Beam products that got delivered throughout the year.
Mhm.
And I'll probably pick one of like the 15-year-old Barton sourced bottles. So I left those out of the lineup here. So this is all non 15-year-old source stuff. Although this is mostly source stuff, and some of it may use a little bit of it, but it's finished.
Yeah.
This first thing is a hitter. Like, wow.
Looks pretty dark in the glass too.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything here is pretty dark. I mean, these are pretty good bourbons.
Alexa, turn on buff daylight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, this will be now the 4th Springbank 25, and this is the most I paid for one. They just keep getting more expensive every year.
Well, it's like anything. Everything pretty much goes up unless it's crap.
I mean, the problem is that the U.S. prices are so high.
Oh, I think it's worldwide right now.
Well, I mean, no, they're half the price if you get them in the U.K. You just can't get them in the U.K. And I mean half.
No shit.
Yeah, it would have been like 500 versus 900. I mean, it's ridiculous. Whatever this is, really good.
So you don't know what's in that glass?
I think I do, but I like I said, I poured them, but I've intentionally kind of blanked my memory of what's in the glasses.
Yep.
Whatever's in here is old, good oak, nice vanilla. It hasn't gone over the top on oak yet. It's actually really good. Like whatever's in here is, I mean, traditional bourbon, awesome. This one, I kind of, it's hard for me not to know what's in this one, but this is really well done, finished bourbon, delicious. This is old. Like this is old. And unbelievably good smelling. So shits. So in the lineup, I've got the 2 most expensive bourbons I bought this year, which is the Rare Perfection 12-year and the Saint Nick 13-year.
Oh, wow.
I've got the Kelvin Collaboration 3. I've got a cigar blend. I've got an Old Fitz 16-year decanter. Just for level setting, I did include a 22-year-old Rhetoric just to kind of, like if that blows everything else out of the water, there's a problem with this year's bourbon lineup. But that's great bourbon, but if it blows other stuff out and it's so thin. And then I've got one more, and I've got Remus 5s in one of these glasses too. So pretty good little set of bourbons here.
Yes, you do. The Remus 5 I passed on, but I've done some research. I've consulted with Mr. Whiskey Shits and a few other people, and it was a little high for it. When I say a little high, maybe, darn, I forget now, but about 20 or 30 bucks over MSRP. So
buy that, man. Under 150, that's a buy.
Yeah, 115 or less.
150, really, honestly.
Oh, really? Yeah, I would. I don't know if I would pay that, but I can get it for probably $1.25.
That's not terrible. I mean, think about it this way: there's 16-year-old MGP in there at 100 proof.
And yes, so I had some time to sit and reflect on it, and like I said, consult with my fellow whiskey drinkers and get other opinions. And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, so so I can't actually remember what I said. I mentioned the Rare Perfection and the Saint Nick. Those are complete unicorn. Nobody knows where they're sourcing it, what's in there. I don't know what's in those bottles. They're just really expensive, and they haven't blown me away yet. But I got a lineup here. I'm semi-blind, so I'm trying to find out. And then I think the third one I mentioned was a sourced bottle of mostly Barton, I believe, that then was finished in a wonderful sherry cask that then had rum in it. and then finally bourbon. And it's a really good whiskey.
Hey, cheers, Tito. How are you, sir? If you got time for a pour, why don't you pop on, scroll up. It's in the chat. We're just trying to keep trolls down.
This middle one's got some off notes in it, but really nice finish. Really well done. The third one, the nose is the best whiskey here by far, but I think I'm already going to eliminate it because it's too thin. Little tannic on the finish.
Would you say over oaked?
No, just a little tannic. So it's not bad. It's thin and it's a little tannic, and you can't really be both. If you're going to be a little heavier on the tannin, you need to be cask strength. In my personal,
a little better on viscosity.
Yeah, I feel like when you bring the proof down and you got a good bit of age and on a spirit, it comes off a little. It's not ideal. I mean, these are all excellent bourbons here. So I mean, these are creme de la creme. Almost everything in here is at least 10 years old. This is not these aren't young, these aren't mediocre. These are, in my opinion, the best bourbons I had this year for the most part. So, so I'm going to go ahead and say that number 2 is the best of the first 3, but I'm not throwing out 1. I'm going ahead and dropping 3. So I'm going to kind of then do a little 1-2 here. Oh, and it's a Harbinger. You got it right on the at the end there.
Okay, Harbinger. That's it.
Harbinger. Yeah. This is just good classic bourbon notes right here. A little bit of rye spice, but not much.
And I totally agree with Whiskey Shits there. I think that was their downfalls when they proofed that down to make a few more bottles.
I think that's a big factor, but I also think they're just not. They're not being picky enough. You have all these.
Just what you said in your last post in chat. I agree. I think they're just not discerning enough.
I mean, have you ever had an Eagle Rare that didn't taste like Eagle Rare?
No. Well, I'll get some that have
not
more
picks, but
grape
like
forward, but the profile's pretty much consistent.
Like you're never getting an Eagle Rare and surprised at what you got, is what I'm getting at. Whereas
no.
Elijah Craig 18, you can get super oaky ones and you get super fruity ones, and there's just no rhyme or reason.
There's no consistency. And I got again, it's single barrel, they're and so on and so forth. But that one, when I did it in a blind with 3 other Elijah Craig expressions, the small batch almost beat a 121. I was thinking of what I compared it with. Almost.
I mean,
but the proof won for me. The proof won. So the proof was there to give it that push, but also the flavor really came out a tad more than the small batch. But the small batch is consistently good.
This has got some nice little nuttiness to it with good vanilla. Very well done. That's definitely old bourbon as well. This is straight up vanilla extract. Wow.
Nice nose, isn't it?
Oh, man, a little bit of Tootsie Roll, too. Whoo. Man, I'm liking this.
Hey, Tino. Cheers, brother.
What's up, sir?
Oh, just hanging out with a bunch of friends at the pub.
As we should.
Mm-hmm.
What you pouring there, buddy?
The new Sagamore Bottled and Bond. It's their first release of their own distillate instead of MGP.
Oh, very cool.
And it's actually really good, I think.
They've been doing great work with their finishing, so whoever's involved there knows how to taste whiskey. And knows it's good.
So what do you two think about what Greg said?
Struggle with my Eagle Rare 10, to be honest. I think Eagle Rare is good. I don't think it's all of what some people say, at least in my opinion.
I mean, it's a basic.
Good though.
It's meant to be a basic daily sipper that you
and at 10
drink
years,
on the rocks. You mix into stuff. or you drink neat. I mean, it's not meant to be a wow whiskey. I mean, you know, again, 10 years ago, you got looked at weird if you were drinking something younger than 10 years old in your glass neat,
yeah.
because there was just no reason.
No.
But
No,
you
it
know,
was everywhere.
today we're in a different world where our standards are changing. We want more proof, we want more viscosity, and we're much more accepting of younger bourbon. And Eagle Rare is kind of both a throwback to the old days, and it's kind of gotten hyped up as something it's not.
Yeah.
And you know, let me just say this to Greg's thing here. I think the quality isn't down. It's just that they're trying to push out more bottles.
It's
So-
younger now.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'll give you younger. Don't think I was going to say that. I was just going to say the consistency is what has happened to it. It is kind of, you know, it's either been right on or it's, well, boy, something has changed. I know it's all single barrel, but
The
still.
quality's gone way down, in my opinion, because, I mean, they basically cut into other brands to make more Blanton. So it's not as consistently the Blanton
It's-
profile.
I could
It's
be
younger.
wrong, but isn't it 4 to 5 now or something?
I'm sure it's 4 to 6 years old, probably around 5's the average. And the gold probably has got an extra year or two on it. Is that's just me guessing and based on just some opinions I've heard, but they're not sharing that detail. And again, I mean, and I don't who actually owns Blanton's. Like, it's not actually a Buffalo Trace product.
Oh, who owns it? It's
Yeah.
it's distilled at Buffalo
It's
Trace.
It's distilled there, but they don't own it.
It's not a Sazerac brand.
I don't believe so.
What?
All right.
That's the whole reason why we can't get gold. They couldn't give us gold or straight from the barrel for all those years. It was an agreement that they would do this distillation and the warehousing of it, but you could only sell the standard. They couldn't sell the straight from the barrel and gold in the States.
Whoa, I've never heard that.
That was the whole reason they did that, from my understanding. Chris might have a better knowledge than I do, because Chris is he's a wonderful resource on bourbon. So
Yep.
Well,
Chris,
yeah.
enlighten us.
Yes, Chris. Enlighten us.
This
I'm
one's
saying
good
it's the
too.
Buffalo Trace thing.
Age International by Japan. Is that who owns it? Is Age International?
that sounds right.
Yeah. Sagamore definitely has a great looking bottle. It's a great bottle to grab and pour too, I think.
That's
Just
really
like
nice.
the hand feel.
I was looking at that today. Not that particular one, but that particular distiller's spirits. They had 3 of them on the shelf.
The rest of their stuff is MGP.
Yeah.
This is the
that's
first
really
thing they've done that's their own.
So it's their own distillate.
Oh, this is really good.
They did distill some bourbons a while back, and I guess they were good, but Bardstown went in and bought every single one of the barrels. They said, we want them all. And so they said, well, we're kind of doing a rye thing. So they have 0 barrels of bourbon now at Sagamore. It's all rye, but
And so to
there
answer
is
our
some
question-
Sagamore distillate bourbon, but it's all at Bardstown Bourbon Company now.
Well, to answer our question, yes. Age
Yes.
is international by Japan. Yep, for the Bardstown. See? Somebody's got the answer in here.
Mm-hmm.
So just reminding people, hey, make sure you smash that like button.
Let me do that right now.
Get recognized while you're there.
Yeah, I picked up like a dozen bottles yesterday, so this was one of them. This was
A
good.
dozen? So
Yeah.
you mean Santa's going to be bringing one down the chimney?
I
Because,
think they're
like I
already
said,
down the chimney.
this is my shirt that he gave me before.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I know what I'm getting. I've graduated from coal.
Yeah, I decided to expand my peat horizon, and then I had some store picks to pick up. So
I
This is the
grabbed this
problem.
one today, too.
Which one's that? What
double,
what is
right?
that finished in?
Okay, so I was just going to spin it around here. Can you see it?
Oh, Peter Scotch.
Yep.
Ooh.
So it'd be lightly peated. I don't think it's going to be overpowering like the Pirate Arbeg. I think it's going to be along more line of the Wee Beastie, if not less, because it would pick it up from the barrel because they didn't char the grain. They didn't smoke the grain. So
That's weird to me that you thought the Pirate was more peaty than the Wee Beastie.
yep, I did. Matter of fact, the Pirate, I'd rather run my tongue across a gravel road than to do that.
Because to me, that one was very low on peat compared to most Ardbegs. I've never had the Wee
Oh.
Beastie.
Still haven't grabbed an Arbeg yet.
I mean,
It was already-
I always tell people to get themselves the 10, but I have noticed some bourbon drinkers seem to gravitate towards that Wee Beastie more than I would have expected. So,
What
So-
did they grab?
How I got to that, Arbeg was at a bottle shop I go to. And I told him about my experience with the Pirate. And he goes, okay, try the Wee Beastie or the 10-year. He said, or the 10-year. He goes, it's not like that. He says, I think you'll do it. So they poured me the Wee Beastie. And I instantly got the sweetness. Yes, I got the smokiness. I got the peat. However, it did not overpower the rest of the grain or the rest of the spirit to where all I got was the iodine and Band-Aid taste.
you know what's funny is some of the sweetness gets lost in the Pirate because they finished it in rye casks, which you like. I mean, you like rye, but I think the rye casks actually might have been why you don't like that one.
I think Dustin's saying go revisit.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I tried the bottle with Jason from Ash and Drum because he bought one. I would not have bought it at the price they were charging. That thing was way too expensive for what it was.
You know what, Doug? I think I'd probably definitely like to try that you bought. I didn't see that there when I got picked up mine today.
Of course you would.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'm like, ooh, I'd like to try that without.
Oh man. Oh, man, this is hard. This is really hard. I'm noticing because there's a couple bottles in here that aren't barrel proof, and man, it is hard to do a side by side with 100 proof and even 100 proofs.
Mm-hmm.
But man, and the thing is, I don't want to knock a whiskey too much for not being barrel proof because if it's the first glass of the night, it doesn't matter.
Well, no.
But it does matter when you do them side by side.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they get to be the point to where it's like, what did I just drink? Man, that was very similar. But you need something that has just a little more edge to distinguish itself over what you just had. But yet you don't want to blow your palate out by keep elevating and elevating because you want to be able to move between the pores to keep an objective opinion. So when I did mine Friday, I tried to keep it all under 100 proof, started out at 80 and worked up to 94. You know, I didn't want to go higher, but I started out with a Magnolia and that's 100, but I didn't want to go higher than that because then I felt my palate would be shot.
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, I'm finding that I've got two clear winners here. These two clear winners.
Do you know what you have poured?
I know the groupings. I've kind of I pushed out of my memory what the order is.
Okay,
But
but I mean, do you know what do you know what bottles are mixed up in there?
Yeah, I know the bottles that are in here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've got the two most expensive bottles I bought this year: the Rare Perfection 12-year, the very old Saint Nick 13-year. I've got a Remus 5. I've got a Fitz. I've got a Fitz 16-year decanter. I've got the Foregate Kelvin Collaboration 3. I've got a cigar blend. And I have, and just for level setting, I included a Rhetoric 22-year just to kind of test my palate a little bit.
So you're all over the map then.
Well, the idea was I'm trying to come up with like my top bourbons from this year that I've had, and so I put the Rhetoric in there just to kind of give me a level set. The rest of these, I'm pretty sure were released this year, or if they weren't, they didn't come out until the end of last year, and nobody had them until this year.
Regardless, you got these this year.
I got all these this year, and I left out the those Beam 15-year-old sourced bottles because I think I'm going to pick one of those for my Bourbon of the Year list. I just have to figure out that one separately. And I'll probably put the Bardstown in that list as well, the Discovery 4, because I think that was this year.
I think it was the beginning of this year. Yeah.
Discovery 4 is good.
Yes,
I like the
very
Discovery
good.
4.
And then I'm also going to – I left out the
about
Barton's 15, 14-year stuff. Now, some of these do have Barton in it, but it's part of a finished whiskey or something, so it doesn't count.
Okay.
So one of those will probably make my list, probably the Sam Houston 15. Because that really was a special bourbon this year. And in a year without a lot of special bourbon, in my opinion. I think this was a great year for middle of the road bourbons and a really bad year for the upper echelon stuff. But mind you, I haven't gotten to try all of the really special ones.
Yeah, that 80-year whatchamacallit, Remus 5 is fantastic for $80.
They went up to about 90 here, but yeah, for
90.
price,
Okay,
great. Well, Neophyte was just saying earlier he found Calumet 15 for like $90.
nice.
Like, geez,
I didn't pick it up, but I'm going to now because he told me buy a case. Quote,
at
unquote,
90.
buy
Yeah,
a
I mean,
case.
I don't know
That's
how many
good.
15-year-old bourbons are going to be available next year or the year after. You know, like
Mhm.
And then I
15-year-old
think
bourbons
they
are-
upped the proof from the Calumet 14. I think
yeah,
the proof's
it
higher.
had the proof.
It's like
and,
what,
I mean,
103, 104, somewhere around there.
I tell you what, those at 15 years, that whiskey's starting to take on like this smoky char barrel flavor that is really good. I'm a big fan of what's happening with those as they get older. I think probably around 16, 17 is when you're going to start seeing some bad bottles show up. But
Okay.
I bet you the people who know what they're doing are going to be able to put out some gems up to 20 years old with those.
Oh, wow.
I think if people are holding on to those barrels, there are going to be some killer 20-year Barton sourced bottles coming out. They're unfortunately probably going to be in that $400 price range the way things are going. But all right, I'm going to go one last time kind of randomly through these.
So in New Orleans, it's the Calumet 15's 110 to 139, according to Doug.
Yeah, I mean the Kentucky MSRP was like 130 basically. So if you can get them for 110, that's great.
Yeah.
I think.
I think I paid 119 for it, if I remember correctly, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Unless I'm mixing it up with the Sam Houston 15. I
Sam
get those
Houston,
bottles
I
mixed
thought
up all the time.
I thought the Sam Houstons were generally the same price or 10 more everywhere I've
Okay.
heard. Could be, and mind you, the Sam Houston technically is a worse deal because it's less consistent and it's lower proof, I believe. Although I think they're real close.
Here,
Yeah.
Dustin, can you give me rapid fire on these peated scotches that I got to see if any of them are worth a damn?
Sure, what do you
These
got?
were like recommendations. I haven't tried any of the. Oh, I tasted the last one. Last one was good. I got Peat Monster, the Compass Box.
It's okay.
That's
It's going to be on the fruity side.
That's what the owner told me, kind of going in.
It's going to be on the fruity side of the group. It's going to be
Okay.
less peated.
He suggested the
Can't really.
Ascai 110.
Okay, I believe that's Kalila. Greg might know better than I do, but it's okay.
It's okay. And then I
Yeah,
really
Brady's still there.
liked.
He might know because
I've not actually had that one, but I've heard good stuff about it. I haven't jumped
Okay.
out. That's the 110, so I've heard that's a pretty good value. Peated.
And then I really liked the Port Charlotte PAC01.
Okay.
So I grabbed the Port Charlotte 10 because I hadn't tried that yet.
Can't go wrong with that one. Can't go wrong with
And
that.
then the Port Charlotte Isla Barley 2012.
Oh, I love that bottle.
So that was good too.
I'll be right back in a minute.
Mike and I did a versus with that in Octomore, and Octomore's $200 and something scotch from the same distillery, and we were I mean splitting hairs on which one we liked more. Like
Octomore was the other one I grabbed, was the 12-1.
I would if you got an opportunity, the 12-2 or the 12-3 would have been the way to go. But
I had the opportunity. It was between the 12-1 and the 12-2, and
Should've
grabbed
gotten
the
the
12-1. It was
Should've
good. The 12-3 was already gone.
yeah, the 2 is the one to get because they've never released a 2 before in the States.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the 2s are travel retail exclusive historically. So if you're going to get one, you get the 2.
Oh, well. I asked the guy, he had them both, and he was like, grab the one. So,
Yeah, well, I just noticed Chris's comment. You know what's interesting is there's actually been more old bourbon released in the last like 2 years than I can remember before, like say 2011. So on the one hand, we're actually getting a lot of bourbon with some age on it. On the other hand, every time like a new stock of old bourbon shows up, it disappears so fast. Like it's so fast. So it's because for a while there, the only old bourbon showing up really outside of the big distilleries was MGP.
mhm.
And then MGP ran out basically. And so now we got some of that Jim Beam stuff. That seems like it's gone.
I don't think I got any of that older Jim Beam stuff. I got the old Barton stuff, but not any of the Jim Beam stuff.
Now the Barton stuff's showing up. I don't know how much longer it's going to last. Oh, Doug H. That's a winner right there. That Compass Box No Name 3 is delicious.
Okay, so he's saying the Port Escaig, however you pronounce it, 100 proof one.
I mean, look at that thing, man. Now, Mike and I've already reviewed it, so we've shared it a little bit. But
No, what is that?
it's the Compass Box No Name 3. Oh my God, it's good.
So he had some no names, but what I'm fine because I can't stand single malts, but there's something the note that I hate in all single malts when that mixes with peat is like magic, and I don't know why or what is going on with that.
That's the box that it comes in. This is absolutely a buy. It's 140-ish bucks. Just grab it if you see it.
I don't know which no names they had. He had some no names though. I know that he had 2 of them.
Greg is officially the weirdest person on Whiskey Tube. He's the only person I've ever heard say they liked the 2 a lot and didn't like the 1. But mind you, of course, totally okay, Greg. But the general consensus has been the 3's been the best. The 1 has been second, and the 2 was generally not very well thought of from most people. I mean, Greg, No Name 3 is absolutely splendid. It's a blend of 15-year-old Lafroig, 17-year Klein Leash, 18-year Bowmore, and 18-year-old, what's the name, Mortlock? I mean, and then there's a little bit of 13-year-old Highland blend in it, like 0.5%. Like, it doesn't even matter.
For a while.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I'm just messing with you, Greg. But I think that is a fairly unique take. I've not heard anybody who's preferred the 2 to the 1. But that's, of course, tastes are all subjective. The 2 is a little underwhelming. I mean, mind you, the 1, I mean, if you like Ardbeg, you're going to like the 1 because it's mostly Ardbeg. And the 2 was a mixture of Talisker and Kalila. And it wasn't good Kalila they used, in my opinion. Or it wasn't like bold Kalila. It was very soft. Yeah, Greg, the No Name 3 really hits it. And I mean, the ages on it for that 140 price point are really, I mean, that's great. You don't get that much old whiskey in that price range very often, especially with Isla's involved.
What are you sipping, Anthony?
Well, I just finished up the High West Rendezvous.
Okay. Oh, the newer Rendezvous.
Yep. And then I started with that because that's what I started the channel off with today.
Okay. I saw that in the title.
Yep. Went to this. And now that's funny you should say, I'm like, what do I want next? So I'm thinking I don't know if I want a rye. I was talking about this earlier. And this was the thing I did my first review on. And this is the bottle. And I probably haven't touched it since May or June. I popped it again for the first time on Friday in months. And let me just say this. I was like, oh my gosh. The first thing I got was the maraschino cherries out of it. And I've never gotten that on this before because it just didn't seem like a note, but it was absolutely wonderful. Wonderful. So I'm thinking about pouring some of this right now, but I do have the Redwood Empire Emerald Giant here. I got Magnolia here. I have C921 here. I've got regular Elijah Craig Rye. I bought this today.
Anthony's been stocking up, man.
Yes, well, it's how it goes. Then I bought this today. Remember?
Yeah. That's the one in the
Okay.
peated scotch.
Yep. So now I'm thinking maybe that, but I also got this.
Here's tears. Eric was talking about that.
Yeah. And so it's like, and I just made the whole spiel about like cracking bottles and like, you know, if you don't crack it, you're never going to try it. You can go out and pick up your newspaper and get hit by some falling space debris and never get a chance to try it. So then what are you going to do? You know,
You crack it.
yeah, exactly. So now it's like, well, what do I got here? What do I want? Blah, 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 blah.
If you feel
Yeah.
like C921, I can crack mine and join you with that. Or,
What
well,
did you say you got?
you mentioned the C921.
Yeah, I have that open.
So I have that sealed. If that's what you're pouring, I can join you with that. If you do the Wilderness Trail, I can do a Wilderness Trail, but it won't be the same one.
All right, I'll open this one.
Which one? C921?
Yep. Since you want me to go all the way up to 120 proof, I'll do it.
Wow, that was a really having to twist your arm on that one.
No, you don't. No, not when it comes to that. No.
Okay,
I
let me
will
open mine and
join
I will join you.
Yes. Oh, nice cork pot.
That was a
Wasn't
nice
expected.
cork.
Was not expected.
All right. So I got to be honest with you. I can't distinguish between some of these whiskeys as far as my favorites here. This right here, a little dry, a little nutty, but the finish on it lasts forever. Really well done. This is a chameleon. Every time I go back, it's a different whiskey.
Yes.
Are you drunk, Dustin? Are you mixing up your glasses? No, I'm just kidding.
I am not. The one minute it's vanilla and Tootsie Rolls, the next it's got like a sort of a tomato note on it, kind of vegetal
Whoa.
at the finish, which I find a little off-putting.
Like canned tomatoes or like fresh tomatoes?
Probably more like a canned. And I mean, it's
Okay.
it's almost like if somebody tried making a candy that had a tomato flavor. Like,
Okay.
it doesn't sound like it would ever make sense or would work. That's kind of what I'm getting here a little bit. But then it also has a really nice oaky finish that really does well. Just right there is delicious. This one is very similar to the other one. A little more consistent, but doesn't have the at its best. It's not nearly as good as the other one. It's good though. Lacks sweetness though. It's very unsweet. Very odd for a bourbon. And then this one, the problem with this one is that the proof's a little lower and it jumps out at you.
It jumps out that it's a lower proof.
Mm-hmm.
Is it kind of oaky?
Well, they're all oaky. These are all have some age, but it's got like a good bit of mint, experiment rye notes for sure.
Is that a rye?
No.
There's no rise in there, I don't think, from what you're
Well,
listing.
that's what he said. But, you know, when he says picking up the spearmint mint.
Mint and spice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be the MGP stuff with the high rye then. Like,
Oh, Well, I mean, I don't like saying it, but I mean, if this isn't Remus 5, I'd be jaw dropping.
Yeah, that's where I was going, kind of with what you were saying.
But actually, compared to these other ones, the oak really doesn't come out on this one right now. Comparatively, it's actually lower in oak.
Oh, okay.
Um,
The oak was the first thing on the first sip that surprised me with it.
Well, like I said, though, I mean, this right here has got a really heavy oak, but really nicely done oak finish. This
Let
has
me know, Josh.
same thing. This has
We
more
will
oak
guide you.
by a lot.
Chuggalo's going to buy the whole store right now.
It's just straight peanut butter.
Yeah. I love that bottle, that Remus 5, but I haven't blinded it against other stuff at all. I've only drank it by itself.
Yeah, if I had to go, I would say that this is probably going to be my number 3. I'll probably take this as my number 4. This will be 5, and this will be 6. So let's see here. So number 1 was this, which I picked almost instantly as soon as I tried it. This was number 1, and that is going to be no shocker to anybody, I don't think.
Oh, Magnus. Yeah.
I mean, instantly when I tasted it, it's just like, yeah, it's the best here. Number 2, this one actually at first I didn't like, but as it sat in the glass and opened up, and it really changed. And doesn't shock me too much here either.
Yeah.
4K.
Is that the
What
Calvin
bad
3?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is just awesome.
I have the Calvin 2. I didn't try the Calvin 3. The Calvin 2 is great, I thought.
I like the 3 just a little more than the 2, and I like the
Okay.
1 more than the 3.
Oh, okay.
The 1 is the best of the series for me.
Okay.
Pretty easy, actually. So this one goes from being like my least favorite and my favorite because of it's got this finish that's incredibly long, lingering, and it's got a really it's unique compared to the rest of them, and probably doesn't shock too many people that it's this guy right here.
Old Fitz.
Yeah, 16 year.
I got the 8 year this year. I didn't get the 16 one.
Yeah, I got that. I got lucky. I got that at the distillery when I did a pick with Jason.
Nice.
So I wouldn't have gotten it otherwise. And then, so from there, I think I picked this, which is this guy right here.
Okay, the Road Perfection.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean for $300, I mean no, but
No.
it
Isn't
good.
I heard you say that there was. I always thought that was all Canadian. That
So
was
the other
source,
rare
but-
perfections they've done are Canadian Rise. This one's a bourbon.
Okay.
So this one is Kentucky bourbon. If you look at that.
And from taste, it's not like Barton stock or anything like that. That you
No
can,
way in hell
can
this
tell.
is Barton. There's no way in hell this is Jim Beam. There's
Okay.
almost no. If it's Heaven Hill, they found a really weird barrel. Honestly, I have no idea where it's coming out of. I mean, it is a unique bourbon. Wouldn't shock me if they found some crazy off-profile Buffalo Trace.
Oh,
And like Buffalo Trace was just like, we just don't know what to do with this. And they're like, we'll take it. And Buffalo Trace charged them a fortune, and that's why it costs so much. But like, I got nothing. I couldn't tell you where this is coming from. Then the next one I picked would be the Remus right here.
Oh, Remus 5.
Yeah. And then of the ones I really considered, the last will be this guy right here, the $400 St. Nick.
I haven't
Really?
heard great things about any of those.
That's
The only one
funny.
people talk about is the 17 year. That's $600 for a half bottle. But
We
is
won't find
Castle-
out about that then.
I would buy one of those if I could. Because what I'm hearing is it's one of the best priced cast strength Stitzel Wellers that's ever been put out.
Mm. Where are we at? Flaming Heart.
I didn't have the 2008 or the 12, Greg, but the 2015 Flaming Heart, which had a healthy dose of 30-year-old Kalila, was amazing.
He's saying no high rye. The Redemption high rye, Josh? Or which high rye are you referring to?
That's what I told him to get.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
the
then,
Redemption one?
and then this is delicious, but compared to the other ones, the lack of proof really hurts it.
Was that the Orphan Barrel?
Yes.
Yeah,
Rhetoric.
Rhetoric. Which one is that? The 22?
Yeah, the nose on this thing is amazing. Like, I mean, of the group, it's the best smelling whiskey, and it's not even. There's no 3, 4, 5, or 6. I mean, hell, there's no top 10. This one is the whole top 10 on the nose. It is. It's amazing.
I have the 23 and the 24, and both of those just I use them to kind of set things. Like if something seems a little over oaky, I'll sip some of that and then go back to whatever I'm drinking because that'll kind of temper it down.
Yeah,
Just
I'm gonna pick up another.
Those are.
I'm gonna pick up another 20. There's a few floating around here in the city for good prices, and the 20 is awesome. I mean, if there's a night I just want to sit back and have like old school like bourbons from back when I first got into whiskey.
Hey, good night, Greg. Cheers, brother. Thanks for joining in. Look forward to having you in the chat again next time, brother. Cheers.
Like this reminds me of 10, 15 years ago when I got into bourbon. Lower proof and older. It's so good. I mean, this is really, really good. I don't know if it's worth the $180 that they go for retail now around me, but
which one's that?
This is the Rhetoric 22, but the 20, 20 is so close. The 20, 21, 22 are all very similar. The 23, I think, it's a nice balance of starting to be too oaky, but not too oaky. And then 24 and 5 are just kind of bitter. The 5 is just downright like, I understand why people don't like that bottle. So
the 3 and 4 are the only ones I've tried.
Buy that, Josh. Buy the High Rye store pick from Total Wine. Sorry, guys.
No worries. That Russian River rye you're talking about, is that the Total Wine rebranding one of?
Yes. Redwood Empire.
Redwood Empire.
That was good.
At first, I was thinking Russian River Brewery. I'm like, did they start doing whiskey?
No. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, is there like a Pliny the Younger cask finish?
Pliny the Towers.
Yeah,
that's a bucket list bourbon I've always wanted to, or not bourbon, IPA I've always wanted to try was the Pliny
Younger. It's good. I don't know. I ended up waiting in line at a place that was doing pours. We got in line around like 5 a.m. and I think we got a pour around 2 p.m. or something.
That's ridiculous.
And it was one of those where I was in line with people who really wanted it. I was like, I knew it wasn't going to be all that in a bag of chips, and it wasn't. It was good. It was really good, but it wasn't worth going through the hoops.
Pliny the Elder is probably the most perfect West Coast IPA ever produced. It is.
I 100% agree with that. The Sculpin back in the day, that one took a big dip in the quality, but Sculpin back in the day was really good too. But Pliny the Elder has been solid from day one to now.
I haven't had it in years. I got like 5 bottles of it, like back in maybe 2000. Hell, I may have still been in college at the time. I mean, it was a long time ago.
And they just opened that bigger bigger brewery where the volume was shot up, and somehow everyone else seems to take a huge quality dip when they do that until they can figure out the new brew system. Mm-hmm. Somehow they didn't at all on that. It's still just as good.
I got so lucky. There was a guy literally flying back from like San Diego to Lexington at the time where I was living. And he brought in his like carry on like 5 of those. And he literally just, hands them to him. And he goes, these were like brewed 7 days ago.
Nice.
And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I think I drank all 5 of those within 3 weeks because I knew I couldn't let them, I didn't want to let them.
Those you can't let sit.
And every time I poured it, it was just like, it wasn't the best beer I've ever had, but it was just, they just made no mistakes. Like they just nailed it.
It's a West Coast IPA that found balance. Most of them, the malt will be too high, or they'll just be going for super hoppy bitterness.
It's so crisp and clean. I mean,
it's really well done.
Now, mind you, I think Maine Brewery basically made a clone of.
Whoa! I think you're like in my brain because I was just about to say the other one is lunch, and then dinner. Dinner's a little more. It's the triple IPA they do. Dinner is amazing, but that's not something I would want to drink every day. Pliny the Elder or lunch, I could drink that every single day and be happy.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It'd been like 5 years, I think, since I'd had a Pliny the Elder, and I got a bottle of lunch, knowing nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Poured it, and I'm sitting there drinking it, and I decided to like take some notes, and I'm just kind of writing, and I get like I don't know, maybe halfway down in the beer, and I just write to myself, I'm like, this is like a Pliny the Elder, East Coast Pliny the Elder clone. And I'm like, I'm going through it and I'm like, I can't believe I'm even writing this because I'm like, I haven't had Pliny the Elder in 5 years. There's no way I'm right. And I get done. I go ahead and I put it on Beer Advocate as my review. And then just for fun, I look at, top reviewers. And a friend of mine is like always in the top 5. Like he's got like 10,000 beer reviews now at this point. And I go read his thing and his first line is an East Coast Pliny the Elder. And I went, son of a bitch, you got to be kidding me.
Dustin, I think we're taking another Whiskey Tube channel and we're overtaking it with beer, though.
Yeah,
we've done that a few times.
Yeah, it's more it's better. It's more appropriate on Ken's considering he's got like 7 beers in front of him.
Right. Sorry, Anthony.
But yeah, honestly, like if you guys can get a hold of like the 20 through 22 rhetorics, I couldn't more highly recommend getting it for the experience.
Yeah.
Don't go over 250. Don't go over 250. Try to go under 200. But these days you might have to go 200, 220 or something.
I think I paid $169 for one of them and $189 for the other or something.
Yeah, I think these are about 180 for me when I get them, but I think 160 to 180 is what I've been seeing recently for these when they show up, and they kind of randomly show up. I mean, I know for a fact there's over 50,000 bottles of the 20 because my 20 is like bottle 54,000. Like every one of them is numbered. But if you haven't had these, because they are a great example of not over oaked, ultra aged bourbon. If you get them 22 and younger, for sure. 23 is borderline. Oh man, and I'm telling you, it's worth it just for the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if I could get a candle that smelled like this, it'd be the first time I ever had a smell good candle in my home. Like I would just have that going in the bathroom, like until it's gone and replace it. Like, like every morning I would get up and light that candle, man.
Anthony, what do you think of this C921? You're muted. I think you're muted, Anthony. At least I don't hear you.
Sorry. I hit the button by accident. I think it's good. I think it needs time to open up. I think the proof is good. I'm getting a little bit of that s'mores almost out of it, marshmallowy taste. But I think it needs time to open up in the bottle and sit. So I'm going to make sure I drink it past the shoulder a bit and then push it aside. But so far, I think it's good, but it needs a little time. I know it's 12-year, but it's I mean, I'm not saying it's terrible. No, absolutely not.
It's terrible.
But it needs a little time to open up.
So
if
have
I
you
go
guys,
back to
have you guys tried just a little drop of water in there?
Exactly. I was just going to
try a drop of water.
I'm not a fan to put water in there, but put 1 or 2 drops of water. I got to find my dropper bottle.
I threw one in. We'll see.
I mean,
I think it's drinking great. People have had mixed reviews on it, but I'm actually really liking it.
Yeah, I'll keep sipping it. I don't have a problem with it.
Water always accelerates the opening up process.
Time. Yeah, as it gets some time in that bottle to open up, as you drink it down, I think it's going to really be tremendous, just like the Wilderness Trail did.
I've never had a bad Wilderness Trail anything, personally.
I've never had one that I thought I wanted to buy, but I've never had one that I didn't think, wow, this was $10 less, I'd buy it. I think honestly, I kind of want to try one of those 6-year-olds they put out, but they put it out at $75. Like
they do.
Like that's just like, I feel like I don't know, like I just have morally objective objective.
It'll come down.
Bourbon at that price.
With how many barrels they're laying down, I mean, they're trying to compete with the big boys as far as the number of barrels they're putting down. And it'll come down once more of that stock gets up of age.
Yeah.
I think it's because this is their first 6-year thing that they're putting out and they didn't have a lot of it. That's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, like, I get it. You know, they're small distillery. They're trying to. I mean, here's the problem: is they're trying to actually make money on their bourbon, and that's really not what. From a marketing, from a growth perspective, that's not what you should be trying to do when you're still small, because your economy of scale is so shitty that your prices suck. But
They have that whole side business anyways, where they don't really need to make money off the bourbon yet. They're selling yeast to what, half the breweries in the country, or a quarter of the breweries in the country.
That's their core business, but I don't know if that's big enough, because they've invested a lot of money in that brewery. Like, they did not go small. When you invest that kind of money, you got to start getting your cash back, and I think they need more than just cash back. They need an actual. They need income, and that's, I think, the problem is they're too big for what they are, you know, and they have to charge those prices to justify it. And you wish there was a big, billionaire donor who decided to just say, "Fuck it, let's go 10 years and lose money for 10 years." But after 10 years, man, we're going to be killing it.
Oh. People doing that don't become billionaires, though.
Well, actually, those are the people who become they're called trillionaires.
Oh,
look what Amazon did. Amazon lost money until like 3 years ago. Every single year of their existence, they lost money. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because Amazon was investing more money than they made every year. Amazon just kept putting money into things, and so they didn't start making money again until like maybe it was 5 years ago. But I mean, it's very recent that they actually started making a profit, because they just kept getting investors and stock buyers to just keep basically funding their never-ending growth plan.
Well, I can tell you, I'll continue to buy Wilderness Trail.
Yes.
I mean, Tesla's become the most valuable car company in the world, and they still aren't profitable.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But yeah, I'm not going to throw this bottle out the window. That's for sure.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's going to get better. I'm pretty much fine with the way it is, but in anticipation.
Especially when you look at price of it. Like,
yeah. Well, I was just said earlier before you got on here and Dustin that I love the toasted barrel. So I picked up another bottle, $65. And then I was at another place. They were selling it for $150 a bottle. And I told them, I go,
for the toasted?
Yes.
Ew.
Yes.
It's a good bottle.
The 10-year,
not 150.
The 10-year Jack Daniels, the 10-year, they're selling for $200.
Oh, God.
I know.
I've never even seen that bottle.
Well, that's the problem, is that 10 years is so rare right now. So, like, the store I like to buy my whiskey at, they got 4 bottles total.
But the thing about that 10-year, it's not blow your socks off.
Yeah, but I mean, whiskey's become a commodity more than it is a consumable good.
Yeah. Well, like we were saying earlier, that 18-year marriage at $3,000. Yeah.
I'm still waiting for they really should just release a bottle, charge $10,000 for it, and call it divorce. And then the tagline is
exactly
because it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
I can tell you right now, I know a bunch of guys who would buy the bottle on the tagline alone.
Oh, yeah.
And leave it on the kitchen counter until it came to fruition.
Or would just
with the price tag on it.
It would put it on the shelf next to their ex-wife's picture.
And it may be half gone or all gone sitting by that picture.
Eric would be all in on that.
I was just going to say.
You would need about 3 or 4 bottles of it, though, next to each other.
Hey, Josh, that's what I was saying. There was if you're a member of their club or whatever, they had a coupon for, is it Spirits Direct? And all redemption is Spirits Direct. So, boom.
I tell you what, before I kill these bottles, and they're getting awfully low, I need to get like some half-ounce samples put together on this rare perfection in the St. Nick and get some people to, like, I might even try to get Jason Mash and Drum to do a blind review and sneak those in and have him on the my channel just to see his reaction, because I have no idea what these are.
Well, when he did the Pappy, was it 24,
23.
23?
It was
something like that?
last in that
It was
blind.
dead last.
15 was first. 23
Yes.
was last, and there was like 8 in between.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing with the Van Winkle stuff. Every year since Buffalo Trace has been involved, the consistency has gone absolutely to hell. And some years the 23 is like this vanilla, like dessert that you're just like, oh my God. And some years it's oaked nasty funk. And the same thing happens to the 20. The 15 year generally is pretty good. They've had good and great years. I've never had a bad 15. And that's the one I buy if I go to a bar and the prices are under $70. I'll pick up a 15 sometimes because it is consistently good, and it's a hard bourbon to get a replacement bourbon for. That's kind of like why I think that the 22-year-old Rhetoric I just had is such a good buy. It's not that it's better than these other bourbons. In fact, I don't think it's better than any of them. But you can't get that flavor any other way. Like you have to buy something like that, or go find an old bottle from the years past to find that flavor. It's just,
yeah.
And I think you pay sometimes for uniqueness of flavor over quality of flavor and over cost to produce. Sometimes it's just uniqueness of flavor is what you pay extra for. By the way, if you actually look at this, and I don't know if you can see it very easily, but so my bottle, my room's just kind of dark.
I was going to say, that looks darker than mine.
Well, no, yeah, I was going to say, but if you actually look at the label, the 23 is the first one that starts to get a little dark on the label.
This is the 23.
Again, I think mine's just not really showing the difference here.
But isn't the shade slightly different in all of them, or no?
Yeah, and the 23 is the first one I notice when I see them on the shelf together. That's starting to get a little dark
on all of them. The proof goes up a tiny bit in each one.
Okay, what's the proof on yours?
It's like 0.2 more than yours, I believe. Hang on, let me find it.
Mine's 90.4.
Then mine should be 90.6, but I could be wrong. Because I think it went 90, 90.2, 90.4, 90.6. Hang on. Mine's 90.6. Mine's
Okay.
90.6. And so I'm guessing 91 for the 25 if that followed suit. I'm not sure.
And when you get to the 24 and the 25, it's noticeably darker. Like they get dark. And that's really kind of how the bourbons taste. Like
there's the 23 and 24. Yeah, it is darker.
And the 25 is like getting to the point where like they're really telling you this is burnt. Yeah, I had the 25 just once. I think I probably had it over at Mash and Drums. I'm assuming. And he goes, yeah, this is the 25. This is why nobody likes it. And I was like, okay, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at first I was like, Jason, you guys are being a little picky. And then like the finish came in and I went, nah, I see the issue. We've had that same conversation a few times on bourbons. We're like, Jason, like very rarely is negative on a bourbon, and when he is, sometimes I'm like, really? And then I'll try it, and I'm like, I think you're full of. No, you're right. My bad. And he'll have to look like, wait for it, like the Eagle Rare 17. Like I nosed that thing, and I was like, dude, what are you talking about? This is heaven. And he goes, taste it, and I'm like, all right. Oh, okay. That's why I didn't like it. My bad. Because I'm sitting there going, Jason, you're insane. This is delicious. Oh, yeah. I get it. Which was a shame because I'm telling you, that Eagle Rare 17, the upfront sweetness, the chocolates, the oak, unbelievable. And then the finish gets kind of dry, astringent, oaky, and then it just cuts off and there's no finish. I was like, what the hell just happened?
Exactly. But it doesn't make a difference. You know, it happens to them all.
I mean, I've never had a whiskey that old that had such a short finish. It was weird.
This has no finish, pretty much. Very little. It feels like. I don't know. To me, like the nose is great, and initially you get a nice like sweet oak, and then
a lot of
it's just
vanilla.
what happened. It's probably just the proof is my guess being so low, but.
Well,
And to be fair, I just came off a C921.
I was just getting ready to say,
120.
you need to do that one fresher because
usually if I have this, it's the first pour of the day, just a little bit, just to be like, oh yeah, and then move on to something.
It has a soft, subtle finish, but they do have it does linger. It's not a great finish by any means, but it lingers, whereas the 17-year just cuts off.
Okay.
And that was my first pour of the night when I was over at Jason's last time I was there, was the 17. And yeah, I mean, it cut off so fast. I think we also, Keith Malted Man Cave, he tried it too. And he was ready to fight us when he first smelled it and then he first started tasting it. He was like, dude, you guys are crazy. I mean, he was like puffing up like he was, gonna like kick it on. And like the finish kicked in. He goes, okay, I get it. And then he pauses and goes, it's still really good. And you guys are being ridiculous. And Jason goes, it's $1,000 bottle on secondary. And that was kind of when Keith was like, all right, yeah, okay, fair enough. If that's how you're judging it, yeah, this sucks.
That's how it goes sometimes. Without a doubt.
I wonder if I've gotten an email back from Party Source that my credit card went through on that bottle I just bought.
What'd you just buy?
I bought a Springbank 25-year-old.
I hear you guys talk about Springbank a lot. Are any of them peated, or all of them peated, or none of them peated?
They're all peated.
They're all peated. Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, my bottle's ready for pickup. So I could have actually, instead of getting on this, I could have driven down there, but I'll pick it up tomorrow. Yeah, it's now the most expensive bottle I've ever bought.
Whoa.
Yep.
If you don't mind my asking, what was the damage on it?
901 before tax.
Wow. Wow.
It's a sickness, I'm telling you, Tito.
Yeah. Well, for context, though.
See, Dustin, the problem is that you tasted some of those super expensive whiskeys in the first place is the problem. If you're sitting in I'm assuming Anthony's in the same boat I am. We've never tried those, so we don't know what we're missing, so we're good without it. Oh, it's a backup that you bought. A backup to the backup? Or are they different years?
Different year. Everyone's a different year.
Okay.
So these are 3 of the 5 most expensive bottles I've ever bought.
Well, you must be happy with the expression. So you wouldn't.
You know what's funny is I actually like the 21s better. I actually do. I actually like the 21s better. But part of me is just kind of like it's not so much FOMO as it is kind of like the collector in me,
Hang on.
I want to buy every year's expression. And I think that's I mean, every year they change it. And I just also part of me also does fear that I pick a year to not buy that's the one I had to have bought, So we'll see. I'm definitely not expecting to be blown away by it for the price, but it's Springbank.
That's your baby, right?
It really, I mean, they're my favorite distillery. I really should be saving my money for old vintage bottles that cost. You can get a 1990s or 80s bottling of the 25 for $3,000. So why buy a new bottling for $1,000? you start thinking about that. That's actually not a giant markup for.
Why spend 100 on a whiskey when you can spend 300? Why spend 300 when you can spend 500? Why spend 5 when you can spend 7?
Well, but I mean, think of it this
Where
way.
does that end?
Well, but I think of it this way, Tito. If I tell you Wild Turkey was way better back in the day, which I think everybody agrees.
Right.
Well, if I told you you could get a Master's Keep decades, 10, 20-year-old bourbon blended together for $200, I think that's about what they went for.
Yeah.
Or I told you you get a cheesy gold foil for $600. Which one are you going to buy?
I've had the decades. I haven't had the cheesy gold foil.
Well, but I mean, what everybody says is the cheesy gold foil is like one of the greatest bourbons ever made.
Wow. Okay.
And it's 12-year-old Wild Turkey from the 80s. So do you buy that, or do you buy the decades?
Well, yeah, you got a good point.
With that, I have to run. My kids are asking about dinner already, so I'm gonna go start cooking dinner. So
hey, let us know what time you want us over there.
Yeah.
Should be ready in about an hour. If you want to cruise on by.
Concorde's not flying yet, so
I
Not
will.
flying yet. It's gonna be mellow. It's just it's gonna be some spaghetti, corn on the cob, and garlic bread. So it's gonna be a mellow day today.
I think it might take me a little while to get to the airport, and then
yeah. No,
I'll save you a plate. I'll save you a plate, and I'll reheat it for you when you get here.
Perfect.
There you go. All right, man.
Cheers.
Thanks for popping on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Cheers, brother.
I'm actually really kind of having gone through all these bourbons, and all of this is excellent stuff. I'm really impressed by how.
I think you did it right. I'm kind of surprised on the last one, but you know what? In the other hand, on the other breath, I'm not after knowing what Jason did.
Yeah, Jason's not had this one. He bought the 12, which was like $200. This one is literally double the price and a year older, and I'm quite confident that it is a better expression than what Jason had based on his notes. But I'll tell you what, this cigar blend, wow.
Oh, I haven't tried it, but everybody that I know like you that has had it said, "Oh my gosh, it's just plain delicious."
I mean,
just plain delicious. So
I've had my moments where I kind of question my enjoyment of this one because it does have a heavy hand of 12-year-old Barton.
Mm-hmm.
And that flavor kind of bores me now because it's just so common. But Nancy was able to get smoke and char on the finish on this one without using the 36% rye MGP that she used to use.
Mm-hmm.
And she was also able to still bring in that nice fall leaf sweetness of Armagnac up front.
Armagnac, I tried it for the first time a little while ago, and oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, she was able to get both those in here so well. I mean, now mind you, this is not as good as I've got another bottle of cigar blend from like 40 batches before this one, and it is definitely better because they were using all MGP instead of a mixture of 21% MGP and a 21% rye MGP, I should say, and the 12-year Barton. But yeah, it was actually funny. Nancy sent me some notes on what was in here, and I responded back. So let me guess, 12 or 13-year-old Barton, and I forgot what I said on the MGP. I was like something like this, and she replied back, "If I could tell you, if I could tell you, I would give you exactly what's in there." She goes, and I was like, "Just blink twice if
that's it.
If I'm close or something." And she goes, "But yes, I'm blinking." Like she was more or less like, "Yeah, you basically nailed exactly what's in this bottle."
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and then I tell you what, I mean, it sucks that majority of people can't get this bottle, which is
I haven't seen it here. I haven't seen it out here at all.
I'm switching to the 4-gauge.
Mm-hmm.
Because this one was, I mean, they made enough of it where, like, if you were in a market that gets 4-gauge, you could have gotten a bottle. But
And I don't know why they just don't get it out here. And if they do, I just not in the right place at the right time.
they
But I
don't.
haven't-
The thing is, their releases are generally around 1,000, like 2,000 bottles. They're kind of like they're probably similar in like release size to Old Carter.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, if you send it to all 50 states, nobody gets it.
Well, correct.
And they don't want Foregate doesn't want their bourbon to become allocated. So currently Foregate is not allocated. So if a store wants, they can buy every bottle. They could just clear them out. And I think that's been really good for them.
Oh yeah. I mean, people that know of it naturally just buy it.
As this has been opening up, I'm going to give it another shot here a little later on in the year. But I just picked this up, which is part of their new, obnoxious, very small batch. Because obviously that used to be, it was too easy to get Old Carter for all of you guys out there. So they
I've
needed to
never
make
seen it on a shelf here.
So they needed to make even smaller batches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 574. Is that what that said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So traditionally, they were like 1,500. Now they're even smaller, and they're only releasing these. They released one batch for New York, one batch for California, one batch for Kentucky. Now, if you love Old Carter, I'm sorry. You're probably gonna love this. If you're like me and you think Old Carter, it's fine that they do good stuff, but I don't think they're special. This really isn't special for me, but I'm interested because the nose on this is so good for what it is that I'm really interested in seeing what happens if it opens up a little bit, because if it can start getting more of those vanillas and sweeter notes coming forward, and the kind of dried corn note I get on younger MGPs sort of subsides a bit.
Are you
It
getting
has
anything like
potential to be a really good one.
a dark fruit like dark cherries or anything, or do you expect some of that to develop as it opens up in that bottle?
I never get dark cherry on anything MGP. Really.
And me either, until that Wilderness Trail. Never.
Well, that Wilderness Trail's not MGP, is it?
No, it's theirs.
Yeah. I never get dark cherry on MGP. I get it on like Buffalo Trace. I get it on actually Wilderness Trail might actually have some of that.
No, distilled, aged, and bottled by Wilderness Trail. That's what I thought. I go, no, I don't think it is.
No, I think Wilderness Trail sometimes has some cherry in it though, because I've had a decent number of expressions from them just thanks to it used to be.
I have Dustin never got that out of it. Not that bottle, and I reviewed it in May. Never got that out of it.
I mean, if this thing starts taking on some nice fruit notes, I mean, it has potential here. Like last night, when I first poured this, I wasn't liking it at all, like for what it was. And then I had a few more pours as the night went on and let it sit in the glass and, slowly kind of nursed it, added a little bit of water. And I got to say, it's giving me hints that there might be something special there. It's just deep down inside.
It needs some time to,
So I'm going to hide that one for a while. I already think it's better for me, though, than the Batch 5 Old Carter bourbon that everybody loved, which I didn't understand that love. That one wasn't for me. This one's more in my wheelhouse. But if you like Batch 5 more than most of their other stuff, then you're not going to like this one anymore. Then this is not a better bourbon if that's what you like, because this is just different.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's the beauty of bourbon, man. Different is
exactly.
Good. Different
you don't
is
have to
good.
like it all. Yeah. And then, me, I was pleasantly surprised when I revisited the Wilderness Trail that I was like, oh my gosh. That few months I just walked away from it was just really good. Which one is that?
So this is a store pick of the single barrel. This is a single barrel from a store pick that was done. And I got to say, so I've only had this for a little while, and I've been drinking way too much of it, trying to kind of figure it out. And I got to say, at first, it was like, what the freaking hell
did you just buy? Yeah.
I got like a week ago. So I've had it for about a week. So I've obviously had a decent bit of it.
Yeah. Now you got to pass the shoulder. Leave it set.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, like I was down to about like just below the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't doing anything for me. And then I kind of, as I drank it down to about here, it was starting to show me some signs. And the last like 2 pours I had really started to get some fruits, really started to get some
notes
of like a really nice
set it on
quality
the shelf.
bourbon. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
set it on the shelf and forget about it for a little
Yep.
while.
This one's getting
And then-
bitten, but I gotta say it's looking like it might have the potential to be the first single barrel from them that I think is significantly better than the small batch. Because at first I was like, again, I would just rather have
Another
bought two small
awful single
batches.
barrel. Yeah. I lean towards that small batch because it's just always consistent for the money and it's a decent pour. I mean, it's not absolutely exceptional. Like, oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
E.H. Taylor small batch is like, oh, but again, it's along the lines of it's a consistently good pour. When you get into that single barrel, and as we all know, that can fluctuate.
Most of the
But
single
I've
barrels
got-
I get taste like I'm just drinking a small batch, and they just cost twice as much. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what was the point of me paying twice as much for what tastes like
Yeah.
the same bourbon?
for what I could get for your standard expression. Yes,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's my problem is you charge twice as much, it should taste different. Doesn't even have to be better. It just has to be different.
Yeah.
And usually it's not. But this is starting to really kind of give me some notes I like. So I'll sit on that for a while. I've actually got a store pick of an Eagle Rare. It's only about it's a half bottle Eagle Rare pick. And I bought two of them. I drank the first one pretty quickly because it was delicious. And I'm actually going to probably pop that here. I don't know. Maybe that'll be my Christmas pop that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let that, sit out for a bit. And then maybe I'll go and compare those two because that Eagle Rare I got, that was a hitter, man.
Mm-hmm.
The store I got that from usually does really good Buffalo Trace picks, and their Eagle Rare picks tend not to be very good. But their last round of picks, the Buffalo Trace was mediocre, and the Eagle Rare was wow.
And I said it about the 10-year. There are some 10 years I'm like, oh my God, this is great. But then there's some of the 10 years in the Eagle Rare, it's like,
Yeah.
And for 10-year, but at the price point of $35-$40, it's a good bourbon. It's a good bourbon.
You can't complain about 10 years, 90 proof for under $50 in today's market.
That's what I'm saying. So it's one of those. And I've got a bottle, I've got a backup, and I've got a backup for the backup. And I don't know how I got that one. It's just one of those things where I probably saw it at $35 and I just bought it. But when I
haven't seen an Eagle Rare in over 5 years. That didn't have a paywall involved.
When I added it to my shelf, I'm like, oh, I didn't know I had another one. I thought I needed a backup. So anyway, so I've got them there.
For some reason,
it's not going to go bad.
Yeah, for some reason, Ohio just doesn't seem to get Eagle Rare. We get Weller, we don't get Eagle Rare.
You guys get a crap load of Weller.
And what sucks is I like Eagle Rare way more than Weller. So I'm like, the one I want.
Well, my buddy lives up around Youngstown.
Mm-hmm.
So when he goes certain places, or he'll let me know when certain things are dropping. And I say, okay, well, if you can snag another one, then pick me up one because he comes out here, so he'll hand deliver it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it works out. Like he can't get uncut, unfiltered.
They're starting to show up in Kentucky a little bit. So you might be able to swing down to Kentucky, Northern Kentucky, and get them.
He got me
here and there.
A Horse Soldier, cast strength, signed by Will Summer, and sent that to me. And so, of course, when he said that, he says, well, I really need an uncut, unfiltered. I said, no, you don't, because it's in the mail. Being sarcastic. But I go, when you get here, here it is. I'm going to hand it to him. So
yeah,
it's all good. I mean, it was like, no, you got it.
Yeah. One thing that sucked is I bought my first uncut, unfiltered recently, but I had to buy the vodka to go with it.
Vodka sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the bottle just sitting on my kitchen counter, and I'm just looking, honest to God, I might just go walking around my apartment complex, and the first person I see, I'm like, hey, you like vodka?
Merry Christmas.
Hey, you like vodka?
Yeah.
If I can find anybody who likes vodka.
Now, let me just say this in fairness to Smoke Wagon. I've heard nothing but good things about their vodka. That the people that drink vodka say it's a good everyday vodka. It says, they'll put it up there with some of the other ones, and I'm not a vodka drinker. But
I don't like vodka, so I mean, it could be the greatest vodka ever made, and
exactly.
Yeah. I honest to God, it's funny. So my freshman year of college, poor college kids, I definitely didn't have access to money by any stretch. I was very much a broke college kid, and I had a job the first semester, but I didn't have a job the second semester, which was stupidity on my part. But 18-year-old kid, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Smart decisions, come on. So, my whiskey, my drinking budget was basically next to nothing.
Wasn't it us all?
In fact, the only reason I even had a drinking budget was because I guess when I was setting up like my college admission stuff, they were like, basically there's like these check boxes, and I guess I signed up for like $600 a semester in like incidental stuff that was added to my tuition that I didn't realize, and I was paying student loans and stuff to get. But one day I swiped my card and it showed up that I had like $1,200. So I bought $1,200 worth of mixers, and then people bought me the alcohol. So, my freshman year of college was pretty much nothing but the cheapest garbage vodka that you could buy and Mountain Dew. That was like what we drank 7 nights.
And you thought you were living large.
I don't know about that part, but it got the job done.
Exactly.
And
ours was what was it called? Count Choctaw or something like that. Vodka. It was cheap. Believe me, it was cheap. And I don't think the winos would have even drank it.
The stuff we were buying was when we couldn't find a deal, it was $10 for that, like the 1.75.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got lucky, we could get them for like $8.
And
we didn't care. We didn't care what it was. We told anybody going in, get us the cheapest 1.75 of vodka you can find.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, there was some bad shit.
Well, yeah, but if you weren't drinking it straight, you were throwing it in something.
Yeah. So when I got out of college, man, it took me years to be able to drink Mountain Dew by itself again. Because every time I would drink a Mountain Dew, I would like start to gag and like kind of like have a flinch, like, oh, the alcohol's coming. And then, and to this day, I mean, I still I smell vodka and I'm just repulsed by it.
Yep, my wife's the same way. She won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Anything that has vodka in it, she is not touching it.
Yeah, I mean, if I even like get a whiff of that stuff, I run.
Yeah, well, it's not even in the house. It's not even in the house. That's for sure.
Like I've got that thing sitting there, and it's just like I have no idea.
Hey, it is what it is.
Like it's like, I mean, do I know somebody who's not somebody I'm worried about just getting hammered to the point of like killing themselves on alcohol who would enjoy vodka? Because I'll just give it to them because I want nothing to do with it.
Exactly. I don't want anything to have to do with it.
Joshua, it's an old Goldschlager for him.
Yes, I remember that well. That and
what do you? I mean, I've definitely got hammered on Goldschlager and had some regrets, but that was something like we drank kind of neat or like took chasers with, and
yes,
I just can't imagine like drinking so much of that like consistently that you kept doing it because it's just so
sweet.
Well, and it's something you can't like mix with stuff. Like with vodka, you can. You can
put an orange juice and try
orange juice. You can try.
Yeah.
There's other things that you can throw it in. You can't do anything with Goldschlager. It's just gross.
Yeah. Well, that was like Jaeger. When I was in school, there was there was alumni that took us to the German club, and first thing he'd tell them is you got any Jaeger on ice? And they'd say, yeah. And he says, how many bottles? I said, well, we got 2 right now. And we got 1 in the back. He says, I'll buy the 2 right now. He'd buy it and line it up at the bar. And that was what we were drinking. And yeah,
that's funny.
Like it was like Vicks Formula 44D, if you remember that.
Yeah. So his fuck that didn't show up here on the chat, but you got it on yours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not on my chat.
Really?
Yeah, I've got the put it in the freezer part, but not the fuck no.
Huh. Let me just look at something here. Let me make sure that they didn't.
It's like they filtered it for everybody but you.
Well, see, I switched back to YouTube because I was on StreamYard looking, and apparently they did. Yeah.
Oh, so if I switch over to I didn't realize I could actually look at the comments on StreamYard. I just follow them on.
Exactly. Well, I go back and forth because sometimes things will show up here or there, and so like I had a couple of bots pop up, and I eliminated them because it's just a spam shit or porn or something like that. Now I only had, I think, 3 today, but Friday night, God, they were left and right between Lilith and Bourbon and me, booting them left and right. It was for a while there. It was going. So I said, I'm going to concentrate on the stream. So Bourbon was plugging them, and then of course Lilith was on them with both feet, and they were gone. So has to have great moderators who got your back to go, this is not what we want on our stream,
Yeah,
exactly.
Like I don't mind the occasional drunk troll because that goes with the territory we're drinking. Yeah. And we've all had a moment where we've had a few too many to drink and said something we shouldn't have or been a little loud.
No.
So that's fine, but I mean, just bots spamming, like that's just beyond.
Well, these were definitely the troll bots, but
that's just ridiculous.
Yep. I
wonder if it's just people who don't like they don't like that YouTube got into the streaming business. Because I've spent a good bit of time kind of exploring the other streaming services out there. Twitch is probably the king of streaming, but the problem with Twitch is it's really hard to find anything on Twitch. Like unless you know who's going on there, it's just confusing. It's not a good.
I don't like the format. And I don't like the format of Instagram. I've watched other people on it.
I hate Instagram.
Have this conversation.
Instagram's terrible. First off, you have to have a web browser view.
Yeah.
It can't be all phone. And the way that chat works on Instagram is just whoever came up with that just is an idiot. I'm sorry. That's just terrible. The video quality is decent.
It is.
The video quality on Instagram is decent. But the other thing is it's locked into vertical pretty much, which is a terrible format as well.
Absolutely.
Now,
absolutely it is.
TikTok
I've been invited on a few times to do other things, and it's just too hard. You get 2, 3 people, 4 people, and then the chat is now in front of you. So I can't see it. It's too distracting. It's too confusing.
It's terrible.
Ridiculous. This particular format is perfect. It's like Zoom. It's like Teams.
Mm-hmm.
When you're having a meeting, it's right here. You and I, we can have this conversation. And still, I can glance over, see the chat, but my moderators have got me. So I can concentrate on what we're talking about.
Now, I've never done it as a streamer, but I've played around with TikTok's live streams. Now, mind you, like a quarter of what's being done there is just girls trying to market their OnlyFans. One thing that's kind of become addicting for me, though, is watching people open sports cards live. But the nice thing about the TikTok live is they give you the option of rotating the screen. So you can watch it vertical or horizontal. It's kind of up to you. And it's got a pretty good interface with the desktop and the phone. So they've done I think they've actually got a pretty good live streaming format. There's another thing called Live Me. It's a step up from TikTok. And again, it's mostly just women trying to sell their bodies. It's kind of, again, it's not very valuable. And there's a couple other apps like that they're just, they're that. YouNow is weirdly an app that's a phone app, but it's almost like it was designed to be only desktop. And it's kind of weird, but they actually don't support the phone people as like they should. That one's video quality is terrible, and it's heavily kids. So it's not really, it's not, the creators are not our people. But I think the format's just not very good. It's almost like they designed it to be a mobile streaming app for people who want to actually use their data plan, which makes, again, no sense. And then there's YouTube. And I think really YouTube is by far the best. And I'm surprised more creators don't use YouTube over Twitch, except I think YouTube takes too big a cut. I think that's the problem YouTube's got is they're taking too big a cut.
Exactly. And I'm not anywhere near that particular point where I worry about that. And
Yeah.
so
I look at
yeah.
Bourbon Junkies and look at Mash and Jerome. I don't know what the tribe's goals are, what they're trying to do, but so I don't care about them. And I don't watch It's Bourbon Night anymore, so I don't know what their numbers look like. But
Yeah, me either. I mean, I am on all of them, but I don't follow them regularly.
yeah, I honestly I
Their
unsubscribed
schedule.
to It's Bourbon Night. I just got so tired of the repetitive videos they were putting out that it was just like, and you know what? It's working for them. They've made it. Chad's made
Yeah.
it his career. That's awesome.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
you know, it felt like every video was, what's the best 8-cent bourbon? What bourbon's best at $17? Like, really? Didn't you guys just do a 20? And then like they're doing, let's uncork these unicorn bottles that we got free from the distillery. And I don't know, just kind of.
Yeah. No, I got you.
It got repetitive.
It's not genuine, just like this is, just like you do right now. You just unabashedly, you just line some up, popped on. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and their live streams kind of their live streams are better as far as content goes.
Oh yeah,
their chat interaction is very much, if you're not somebody who they've been interacting with for years, you're probably not going to get an interaction unless you give them money. And that's kind of weird to me because, like, I've actually talked to some people who are decently high Patreons for them. And they're like, they don't even respond when I put stuff out there. But yet Joseph Brazier gets like a freaking introduction every time he like posts some, makes a message. And it's like, well, he's been there since the beginning.
This is some of the things I hear from just other channels is, hey, they like their content. They go, they watch it. And I'm just being general. Anybody, they like it. But it seems like if you do that $5 super chat or something like that, you get called out immediately. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get that. I don't know what the term, but you get that priority.
And you should. I mean, if you're giving money to a channel, you should get priority.
And I understand that. But
the problem is they're not good at reading the chat and commenting. Jason's exceptionally good at it, like to the point where it's stupid, and using him as a standard is just wrong because he's just better. The Junkies, I don't watch them anymore, not because I don't like the Junkies, just because there's another channel who's really nerdy and more Scotch focused, and he's a really small channel, and I have more fun watching him. And that's nothing against them. It's just multiple channels going at once, man, and you got to pick. And also, I was getting tired of reading their chat because it's just so fast. I'm just like, God bless.
When you
go for 3 hours, in there, I'm just like, man, I'm tired. I'm tired, and I've drank too much, and I'm a little too drunk for a weeknight. I should have stopped an hour ago.
I know, and I that's what I'm saying. You know, you get 2, 3, 4, 500 people in chat. That thing starts going like the ticker tape at the Dow Jones. You know, it's like, I can't read it.
Yep.
And so I even just close it so I can watch just the stream because it's too distracting because it's moving so quick. It's like a slot machine.
My main point was like, you know, channels that have gotten big enough, like where they're really bringing in some super chat money. Yeah, I get it. And, you know, it's one thing like
with it. I really am. But for me right now, that's distracting. Some of the things that I get from some of the people that follow me, they're like, they like the smaller. They said they know eventually I'm creeping up. It happens. They says, but we like the channels 1,000 or less, give or take, because there's still a personal interaction. They can still read the chats. They can still talk to people in the chat, even though they're not on the stream, just like we're talking, and actually be able to keep up with different things. So, you know, unfortunately, I want to say unfortunately, it happens to everybody. If you stream long enough, you just keep building followers. Yeah.
Well, but you know, and I mean, honestly, up to about 200 people in our community, you can mostly keep up.
When you get to that 500 range, it gets a little tough.
It gets really tough, and then some people are good at it, and some people are bad. Roy Aquavite, he is
Yeah.
not good at keeping up with the chat. He never was.
No, but
He'll
I like
he'll
his
have like a
content.
period where he's really focused on the chat, and he'll do a really nice job, and then he gets into like other stuff, and he just gets lost, and the chat disappears, and that's not his strength. That's okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, trust me, Josh. There are a few other streams you can definitely go to the store and get back in time for. Scotch Down Under.
Oh yeah.
You can actually go to bed and wake up, and he'll still be
He'll
streaming.
be there. Yeah, we've all done it. We've all got it. Ken, I just left you 6 hours ago, and you're
Dude,
still here.
There's days. I mean, I'll actually get up. Got my morning coffee. Ken's on. I'll finish my morning coffee. I'll knock out a couple emails. I'll do my morning meeting. I'll do something else. I'll take a nap at lunch. I'll get up from my nap at lunch, get back, check my email, make sure nothing happened while I was taking my usually it's like a 30-minute nap. I don't I can't do much. I only nap maybe once a month, but I every now and then I like to get a nice little 30-minute nap in during the workday, working at home. And I actually will literally tell them, I'm not telling on myself here because I'll literally send a message to the guys I work with, and I'm like, hey guys, 30-minute nap. Don't message me.
That's right.
And I'm like, well, unless you actually need something. Like if there's an emergency,
Yeah.
I mean, I will.
I'm taking a break. Blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah.
I'll just straight up tell them, hey guys, hour lunch. I'm gonna take a half-hour nap, and then I'm gonna eat some food. If you really need me, send me a message. Otherwise, hit me up at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll see you in an hour.
Yeah. So, and I'm pretty open about that one. I'll even tell my boss if she asks me, "Hey, I'm taking a nap," and she's like, "That's cool. I'm working out during lunch." Cool.
Yeah.
Mine sounds way more productive.
It's your hour.
Yeah, exactly.
And just like you said, if you really need something, call me.
Yeah.
If it's that urgent, call me.
Trust me, I'll wake up. But
yeah,
if you need me. But
exactly.
so like I'll get up from my nap. I'm like, all right, let's see here. I'll get some food in the kitchen. I'll sit down, and I'm like, there's no way Ken's still going. And there's Ken
there
just powering through. I'm like, God bless.
Mm-hmm.
I had my morning coffee.
7 hours later,
I knocked out like 3 meetings. I knocked out 30 emails. I even put together a couple things, reviewed something, sent it off, took a nap, and Ken's still going.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other days when my work day's kind of
I'm going to hang it for
even
about
kilter.
10 minutes or so. Then I'm going to hang it up because Livewire will be coming on. And I know Marty's on right now. And,
is he?
Yep, he's on right now. He's got 2 1090 on. They're decent. And
I need to watch those guys. They subscribed to Mike and I a while back, and I just really haven't had a chance.
He's on there now. I got him up in the right-hand corner. I don't have the screen up, but I know he's on.
This makes no sense. I 100% have Whiskey Nose. I'm subscribed. He usually pops up in my thing.
Lately, even Livewire for me, and Scotch Down Under.
There we go. Okay, there he is. Like he wasn't popping up as being live. That drives me. I know.
Nuts. I didn't get the notification, and I'm looking at StreamYard. Never mind. I just said that, and boom, there's the notification.
Well, anyway, I don't turn on notifications for most channels, so I don't have.
I don't know about the refresh. That's probably the problem.
So I don't have Whiskey Nose on my notification. I keep my notifications to like a very small number of channels because I don't want to.
Well, exactly. You're going to get flooded.
Yeah.
But by the way, Dustin, before I forget, I'll reply back to your email so you have my contact information.
Oh, cool.
That way, if something's up, I have a question, I'll shoot it to you.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, you'll get my cell phone number, and then that way.
Yeah, I'll send you my stuff too. Yeah, anytime you got anything.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like I said, I was with Bourbon today, and I sending him some stuff, and we were going back and forth because he's a hunter, and so
Bourbon is a wealth of knowledge.
Adam and a few others because of the corners of the world everybody's in. It's good to have these contacts out there. What's what?
Oh, yeah.
It's just bad as I snap a picture as I'm holding the bottle, and one of the bourbon says, "The only bourbon that gives me horrendous heartburn." No.
Yeah, I will say this: if you're not on Discord, I highly recommend you get on Discord.
I don't have my own channel on Discord.
Oh, do you?
But I go on because Ken has it.
Yeah, so I recommend. Ken's channel's fine. The one you really need to be in is Bill's Whiskey Dick.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Whiskey.
Whiskey Dick, the
Okay.
dictionary. He's got
Yep.
the biggest Discord out there. The tribe, I think, is Patreon only. But Bill's, I mean, it's not as big as I'd like it to be. I'd like it to grow, but it's one of the best resources I have. It's where I've got Mash and Drums Discord, which I think might be Patreon only, but if you message him, he'll probably let you in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Jason, I'm going to say this. Jason is a class act. He's popped in on my stream. HBR has, and matter of fact, Jason has promoted my channel on his stream at a time. So, they're proponents of the smaller channels.
Oh, straight up strawberries.
Really? Yeah.
Jason mentioned that before, but
Jason truly is a class act.
Strawberry.
Strawberry.
Yeah. So what I'll say about is this: there's two channels who I think are by far and away the most influential in there being a whiskey community. Period. The first channel, the most important channel in whiskey tube history, in my opinion, in terms of building a community, is the Scotch Test Dummies. They were the very first channel to start doing live streams with other channels. And they exclusively looked for channels smaller than them to bring them on to grow. And that was back when they had like 5,000 subscribers. They weren't that big. And they've had some, issues in the last year or so because of, Scott and Bart started working different shifts. And then COVID hit Scott. And now Scott became a scumbag employee for a freaking Scott Malt Whiskey Society. And now I don't know if I even want to watch him anymore. I'm kidding, guys. I love Scott. But their channel's slowed down and it hasn't grown like it should have. And truth be told, I think they may have reached kind of their saturation point without trying to come up with a slightly different method, which is fine. But they're still like 25,000 subscribers. I mean, they're huge. But they legitimately were the original channel that was really building the community. And they stopped doing live streams because of all these issues. Man, they are also Bart's he's got a kid who's got issues, and then Bart has his board game channel, and then there's other things that Bart's got going on. He's a busy guy because of that. But Scott was literally for a long time, people referred to him as the godfather of Whiskey Tube. Like he was literally the guy everybody went to, even bigger channels. As they got bigger, they still went to Scott because he was the guy who kind of built that community. And then the other guy is Jason, who is now the guy who's on everybody's streams. He just goes around, likes to hang out. And Jason has no pretentiousness about him on streams.
None.
And in person, don't get me wrong. Jason's a cocky, confident guy.
It's a different, yes.
But I'll never forget the first time I met Jason, maybe the second time I met Jason, first or second time I met Jason in person, all right? I'm at the Party Source. Did you ever watch Party Source reviews?
No.
Okay, so they had a 2,000 subs or something at one point, and then they fired the guy who was running the channel, but Jo was doing the channel. Jo is how do I describe him? He would be the Whiskey Tube equivalent of Steve Buscemi. Kind of an odd-looking dude, but an incredibly knowledgeable and a gifted, incredible taster. Just like Steve Buscemi is probably the greatest, one of the greatest actors of the last 20 years, but he's not a lead man. He's not the pretty guy. Jo is kind of that guy. And Jo ran the tasting section at the Party Source where you could go have a taste. And so it's always Jo, behind this, big thing. And then, all this whiskey behind him and people lining up to try stuff, kind of. I walk in there and there's Jason, Mash and Drum, who's probably, I don't want to insult him, but he's a short guy. I don't want to give you a
vertically challenged, Dustin.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking midget or something here, guys, but he's not a tall guy. And Jo's probably 5'10", 6 foot range, normal. Well, I mean, above average height, but normal above average height. And I'm walking in there, and there is Jason, He's basically walked back, standing side by side with Jo, talking while Jo's pouring stuff, and he's chest up, shoulders back, hanging out, and I just walk by and I'm like, Jason is just a freaking he is an alpha male. He doesn't care if he's short, doesn't care about any of that. He is just the guy who walks in, what up? It's just, he's got that personality. He's just big, bold, friendly guy.
He has a good personality. But I'd say that's that New York East Coast thing. And, being from Pennsylvania, you're from Ohio. That's what we expect almost. He has
he does it in
he has that charisma.
But he does it in such a genuine, friendly way.
Exactly.
He's not the kind of guy. I think even if you piss him off, he's probably not going to really come at you like you'd think a New Yorker would. But now, mind you, if you put him in a corner, he's going to. But
yeah.
He's just a genuine good person who's just so fun to be around. And that's the nice thing about the community as a whole is I think most people who are part of this community are very engaging people who want to make friends, want to be friendly. And you got a lot of big, bold personalities. That's great. But then again, Jason, he's the guy who could be arrogant and full of himself because his channel's grown so much. And honestly, his channel's influential in a way that I don't think even some of the channels bigger than him are, because he's got the ear of some of the biggest people in the industry listening to him, because when he talks, they're like, yeah, you're right. And I don't think even some of the channels that are bigger have that same respect among industry people. I could be wrong, but that's the impression I've got.
Yeah.
I don't want to use names because I think that gets
exactly.
But
you're like me. Yep.
I think in general, I would venture to guess among channels over 30,000 subscribers, I would think he might be the most influential, with the exception of maybe Liquor Hound.
Yeah.
And Liquor Hound, mind
the
you,
first ones I started watching along with ADHD Whiskey, Whiskey Tornado, when I got into Whiskey Tube a little over a year ago. And
I love Matt.
Yeah. I like Matt's sense of humor. I like Matt's, the way he ran his channel, way he runs his channel. I just like it. And then when I got into Scotch Down Under, and I go, I like that pub style. And that's kind of how things kind of moved along for me. And then, of course, Livewire Whiskey, like those guys. I've been on their stream numerous times.
Oh, man, those guys are great.
And Whiskey Encore, Marty over at Whiskey Knows, Whiskey Mountains. I could go on, and I hate to exclude anybody, but you know how you and I could sit there and name good channels.
Again, that's why I try not to do too much name dropping when I do it, just because I feel like I'm going to forget somebody. Adriana's done a couple of, I don't watch a lot of Adriana's content,
but you have, like me. And
I try to check when I can. 17. And she's done a couple things. She did this Star Trek kind of parody thing.
Yeah.
It was so good. I instantly commented. I was like, this is honestly one of my favorite things I've ever seen done. And I could have been the person who said, look, you could have done this, and this better. But I was like, oh my God, she probably didn't even put that much time into this, and she still nailed these 4 things. And then she put a ton of time into a couple other things, and I'm just
and she just finished her doctorates.
Good.
Dude. Yeah. So, my wife finished hers a few years ago, but I know what kind of work that is. So, hey, and to still do the channel like she did.
Oh no, she's a rock star. I think if she really wants to make her channel,
well, I think she's at 1,100 now or 1,200, something like that. She's got subs.
If she wants to make that channel big, she's got the potential. The only thing with her is going to be, being a woman in this community is just going to be a challenge, and that sucks. That just sucks. But it's reality.
It is. Well, she's in with Women of Whiskey, and that's a good. That is a good channel.
But women can't have a sense of humor on YouTube because it's 80% dudes, and on the whiskey side, it's 99% dudes. And
hey, I'd have them on my show. That's for sure.
Well, no, it's
absolutely. I think that's a wonderful concept.
No, if she makes a joke, it's just going to get inappropriate comments left and right to the point where it's just not worth
Exactly.
to do. It
It's
sucks.
like I was putting up with Friday night, and I was like, really, people? I mean, it gets to the point where, come on.
Like,
But
I'm not one of these guys who wants to.
there you go, 100 or 1140. Sugar Kitty posted it for me.
Yeah, like I'm not one of these people who wants to like kind of create this kind of. I don't think women need a safe space or anything like that, or by any stretch. Like I'm very much just like, hey, here's the market, you sink or swim kind of thing. But
Yeah.
At the same time, I mean, geez, I looked at some of her comments once. Like I think she just posted a video, and there was like 3 comments that were just terrible that got thrown in there, and I think they got deleted shortly after. But it was just like, come on, guys, act like you've seen a woman before.
Yeah.
Again, it sucks that that's the case. I mean, that's the same reason. I don't know if you ever watched her, but Whiskey Bitch,
No.
who I think had one of the best palates and one of the best tasting notes. She got just bullied for her looks so much, and I mean, she was a heavy girl. Who cares?
Who cares?
Listen to
I
what
want to
she
hear
said
what
about
you
the
have to
whiskey.
say about bourbon. About whiskey,
I mean,
about
there's
scotch,
heavy
about-
dudes on whiskey too. They get two inappropriate comments. A woman gets 200. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, and like I said, it's just gotten out of hand.
Yeah, and I mean, as the community grows, unfortunately, we're not adding enough women, and I mean, part of it's because the weird thing is, women are becoming more and more part of the bourbon like chase. The problem, I guess, is maybe they're not as enthusiastic yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed this. Like I've been at like some stuff and met some women who they like shopping, and they like the chase of the bourbon, and it's a fun thing for them, and that's awesome. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Heck, my boss recently waited in line at Old Forester to get a birthday bourbon, and she didn't get one, and she kind of went Karen on them. I'm not gonna lie. She put a scathing comment on their Facebook. Not offensive, but scathing.
Yes.
Like, and I died when I saw, like, I heard about it, and then like she told me exactly what she said. I mean, I was just like,
Hey.
oh my goodness. And again, she's definitely into wine. She'll drink bourbon, but she's really not that excited about it. But her husband likes bourbon, so she wanted to like
Get that. Yep.
Yeah, and it's a fun thing for her to do. It'd be nice if we could kind of take that fun enthusiasm and one, get more women into drinking whiskey, and two, get more women into this community. As again, the idea is not to be an all guys club. I mean, by any stretch, I don't think that was ever the intent of anybody doing this.
Mm-mm.
It's also not, a dating app either. The goal is just people we want to have a whiskey with, and so it's great. We got people like Adriana.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to shut the stream down. I'm going to have a little dinner. Then I'm going to check on Marty and then get ready for Livewire Whiskey. Those of you that are on, make sure that you guys are ready to roll because Marty's on right now.
Yep.
Livewire Whiskey's coming on at 7 my time. So, hey, don't forget to catch them. But Dustin, you're always welcome here, brother. Always welcome. It's always good to have you on. It's also good to have your input along with your wonderful palate. And thank you for bringing
always
that
good just
light
to
on.
chat with you, man. I mean, you are you're a good person. I don't care what anybody says about you. Stop.
You know what? Exactly. I understand. Don't worry. I'll edit that part out. No one will ever hear you ever even said that. Don't worry. That's it.
But cheers, buddy.
Yep. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you for joining, and I will see you later on this week. Cheers, everybody. See ya.
Oh, cigar blend.